with you tonight until 10 o'clock. Skaz is here. We got our intern Joe as well. Full show, and this is the place where you can react from the performance of Drake Maye. A full show. I know a bunch of the other shows throughout the day were interrupted by the Bruins, which we will get into because I watched the whole thing, and it was very disappointing. Not the way I want them to start this year. Today, disappointing. We'll get into that coming up in just a little bit. The phone number is 617-779-0985. We're also on YouTube. And I actually watched the morning show today on YouTube. Woke up early, just clicked the old speaker button, and went right to it. Looks wonderful. But if you join on your iPad or on your laptop, you can also join the chat. And there are people already in there giving their thoughts on Drake Maye, which, you know, I got a couple of thoughts for you. I did post-game yesterday with Leroy Irvin, so I've reacted. And I certainly want to hear from you guys and what you thought about the performance from Drake Maye. And the Patriots lost, okay? This isn't about wins and losses this year for the Patriots. The owner said it himself. But now you're 6 games in. You're 1-5. You are the worst team in the NFL, but you have Drake Maye. Drake Maye's performance, I feel like yesterday gave hope. It gave people hope. It showed signs of promise. And when I saw some of the stats regarding first quarterbacks in their opening starts, Drake Maye is the first quarterback to throw 3 or more touchdown passes and lead his team in rushing in his first NFL start. And I looked at it and said, wow, he did. He did do that, huh? I mean, his 3 touchdown passes were more than Jacoby Brissett than he had in 5 games. Drake Maye completed 20 of 33 for 243 yards and 3 touchdowns. He also threw 2 interceptions, fumbled once on a strip sack. The Patriots overall committed 4 turnovers to go along with 9 penalties for 50 yards. Houston scored off most of their turnovers, 20 points. They also rushed for 192 yards. Patriots are 1-5, on track for the number 1 pick in the NFL draft. So as I'm watching the game yesterday, handoff, 3rd and 9, bad pass, punt. I said, all right. And then another handoff on 1st down and another handoff on 1st down. So I started to have nicknames for Alex Van Pelt during the game. I had Alex Van Punt. I had Alex Van Puke. Alex Van Penalty. Alex Van Putz. It was a slow start. But once he stopped being conservative, the Patriots let Drake bake. A beautiful touchdown pass down the sideline to Kayshon Boutte. Playing the X on the outside, beat his man, ran to the ball, drop it in the bucket, bing, bang, boom. I watched him do that 100 times at camp this year. He worked on that pass 100 times when I saw him do that. He faced the blitz. He made the right reads. One happened in a nice little pass to Hunter Henry on a 3rd down. Blitz was coming, read it right through a dart. But I saw progression from Drake Maye yesterday. Progression. On a 3rd down, slant to the right, inside to Pop Douglas, overthrew it a little bit. They had to punt from there. They ran the same exact play, left side of the field. There's a video out there of Pop Douglas essentially manifesting this, saying that he'll give his guy a move, run to the inside, catch it, and he's gone. It happened. The play that Drake Maye missed on earlier, he hit on a touchdown pass to Demario Douglas. That's why there's hope. That's why we saw progression. That's why there's excitement for Drake Maye. In the middle of a game, he made up for a mistake and it went for 6. So I'm encouraged. Yeah, I think most of his issues were physical, not mental. I think he's ready. Now, do I think it's still the right decision to play him right away? Did we not predict that he would get sacked almost 5 times, 4, and throw an interception, 2? The Texans are who we thought they were. All week long, Skaz and I told you, we don't like the move. He does give them the best chance to win, but the reason why I don't like the move, same result. It looked better. Same result. You lost by 20. I know for most of us, we shouldn't care about wins and losses anymore. I just told you I saw progression from Drake Maye during a game. Have you seen progression from this coaching staff this season at all? Your thoughts at 617-779-0985. Here's what we know about the Patriots. They don't have good coaches. There has been no improvement. The line still stinks. What does it say for your coaching staff when Ben Brown comes off the street and is your best offensive lineman? He had 2 days of practice. They don't need... This guy could show up, doesn't need their coaching, and can be just fine. What does that say about them? The line still stinks. The penalties keep mounting. 12 last week, 9 this week. Where's the progression from the coaches? The defense was not good. You give up 192 yards last week against the Dolphins. You give up 193 this week. No progression. You can't be down 14-0 and expect to win. There's no progression from the coaching staff offensively or defensively. And this is how the Patriots started their second half after scoring a touchdown and then getting the ball. The 2-for-1. You remember the old 2-for-1? This is how they started the second half. First drive, strip sack on the second play led to a Houston touchdown. Third drive, fumble. A soft fumble, Austin Hooper. So soft. Led to a field goal, 10 points. Fifth drive, interception on the first play. So now they're throwing on the first play instead of running it, and it led to a Houston touchdown. There's 17 points right there. You have no chance when you go down 14. Come back. No, 17. If the defense can't stop and you turn the ball over and you have penalties, there's no shot you're going to win. The only shot you have to win is the explosive plays that Drake Maye can make. He made 3 of them yesterday, which led to touchdowns. They scored 21 points. When's the last time they've done that? Gerard Mayo said something after the game yesterday that I want to get into on the other side. But there's something I've been saying, or at least we've been saying on the night show. It's us, Skaz and I. The Patriots, they keep telling you that Drake Maye's not ready. All along, they haven't been ready for Drake Maye. 617-779-0985. We got a full show. You can react to it. We got the Bees as well. Celtics stuff from over the weekend. It will go across the NFL. We got in or out. Musings. We're here until 10. And I'm Joe Murray. You're listening to 98.5 The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up.
98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Reacting to the Patriots' 41-21 loss, by the way, to the Texans there, but I don't think wins and losses truly matter right now. I know to some people they will. I know that there's some people, in the end, it's all about wins and losses. Yep, it is, but when this team sucks, they barely spent any money, and don't give me the, look, they spent the most cash money. No. Like I was going to talk to your dog. No. How many times have you heard that one, Skaz? Oh, who was there available in free agency to sign? The team stinks. Every single offensive lineman but one of them got a big contract in the offseason playing guard. The rest of them were unsigned free agents, guys you've never heard of. That's who was in front of Drake Maye yesterday. You're like taking your Porsche out and driving it through the wreck. That's what it is with Drake Maye. And you know what? I was impressed. It's okay. I still don't think it's the right move. I still think that he struggled against the D'Amico Ryans defense. We gave you the numbers. The average was 5 sacks, 1 interception. 4 sacks, 2 interceptions is what happened. We told you that despite the change at quarterback, it will look better. Same result. You lost by 20 points. You still had penalties. The line still stunk. You still made mistakes. The coaching was questionable. And the offensive coordinator is going to get in trouble no matter what, because when he runs on first down, it gets stopped. And then when he throws on first down, it gets intercepted. So, who do I blame then? It's him. We'll get into that a little bit later on the show because I had so many nicknames for the guy. But Drake Maye, after the game, I'm looking at him at the podium. His left arm is red. But he seemed confident. He was asked a bunch of questions. One of them was, hey, the team lost, but you played well. How are you going to react to that? And he just was like, I'm going to work harder. I'm going to watch the video. I think he said and did all the right things. I was impressed with his first performance. And I think you all should be too and have some hope. Now, when he missed, I thought it was physical. I don't think anything was mental. So I think his head's right. I think he's taught well. I think he learns quickly. I mentioned the progression that we saw. But there were some bad passes. There were some wobblers. Some were too high. He's going to have to work on that. Did I think his footwork was bad? Not to the, not the way that I guess some people have mentioned that it's going to be. I was impressed. They moved the ball. He threw some darts. He's fast. He can move. He's a tough kid. He got crunched. A couple of times he got hit on a third. There was a second down where he got hit. And everyone went, ooh. What did he do on third down? Connected with Gibson on a first down. Now, he threw it a little high, but he got the first down. But this quote from Gerard Mayo, and I wanted to bring you in on this one, Skaz. So, Drake Maye, I thought, at least delivered in his starting debut. But after the game, Gerard Mayo said that we let him down. The coaching staff let him down. So, I'm curious what you think, Skaz, when he says we let Drake Maye down. Because I have a theory. I said it already on postgame yesterday, but when you hear that clip, what do you think?
Yeah, I think Gerard Mayo's frustrated with the rest of the team, and I think a lot of Patriots fans should and are frustrated with that as well. I mean, did the offense look a little more, complete, a little more competent? Did they move the ball better? Sure, but all the problems this Patriots team has were still there. The penalties, the bad defense, setting the edge, or just not setting the edge at all, I should say. The run game. I guess time of possession was better in this game, but that's only because the Texans had such a lead that they were kind of letting you hold the ball in the second half, I felt like. And yeah, obviously I'm a Maye guy, you're a Maye guy. I think he will be good. I think he showed signs of already being good, doing things that Jacoby Brissett couldn't do in this offense. But for me, my biggest takeaways was, not so much Drake Maye, but just the team around him still looks the same. They still look bad. They still look not prepared. The coaching is a massive problem. Just to start the game, handoff, and then Drake Maye's first pass attempt is 3rd and 9, and then the next time he gets the ball back, he's down 14-0 already. It's just an impossible spot for the kid. It's how do you expect him to, progress? Down 14-0 in your first start, the defense knows what you're going to do. It was exactly what I expected. There were no surprises for me yesterday. Drake Maye showed flashes of being the top 3 pick. We all knew he was and had the athleticism to show, but the overall team and everything, I'm still, Alex Van Puke, whatever you want to call him, Joe, all your nicknames for him, I'm right there with you. I tried to give the guy a little bit of a leash early in the season, but the play calling is bad. They opened it up a little bit, but I think he's scared. He's still kind of in the Jacoby Brissett playbook, and Mayo's defense is starting to become a real concern.
I stopped after Alex Van Putz. Alex Van Punt was great. That one guy, I got like, if we're counting likes, I got a lot of likes on that one. Did you see the Mayflower? I had the Drake Maye on the Mayflower. We all aboard. The team thing. Well, I'll probably do the rest of the show because, in reality, right, the team stinks. So when I asked you, hey, why do you think Gerard Mayo said we let Drake Maye down? I took it as the team stinks. I took it as we and the coaches let Drake Maye down. Why? Because you didn't play him right away. By the way, I still agree with the plan to play Brissett. I do.
Yeah, nothing about what Drake Maye did yesterday made me feel like he should have started any earlier.
But what about Gerard Mayo? How do you let Drake Maye down? Just think of this. Let's talk this one out.
You let him down in the offseason.
That's what I'm going with. Is he saying that we let him down because they didn't protect him? Or he thinks that he's ready to play right now, but they couldn't because they're not ready? We let Drake Maye down. How?
Because your roster isn't good enough to support a rookie quarterback.
That's what I thought. And I believe Karen Gregan followed up, and he kind of was like, it's not so much the coaches. It's not the coaches. And it's like, well, then who?
Trying to spread that blame pie around, Joe.
I don't think he knows the wording that he should be using anymore.
Well, he also just talks way too much.
Well, no, but you know how you get, I've worked at companies before where it's like, hey, if this gets brought up, just say these things. Well, I think now he was told what to say too many times, and now he doesn't know what script to use. Right? I used to do I was a salesperson. We used to have these scripts as a if someone was to push back on you, a follow-up. He has so many scripts, dude, in his sales force, he doesn't know what he's doing anymore. Somebody asked about Drake Maye. Oh, we let him down. Wrong script. Get the other script, bro. No, it's the one from the 3 months ago.
We let him down. It was his first game, and I feel like I let him down. I'm sure all the coaches feel like we let everyone down, and it's got to be better.
You let him down because you guys weren't ready. You're a bunch of putzes. You thought Chooks Okorafor was going to help this? Oh, Chucks. Skaz is laughing because I wanted that to be a segment this year. Every time he made a penalty, I wanted to go, oh, Chucks.
It's a chunky. Uh-oh, you got a chunky.
Yeah, they brought him in. Oh, then who's the guy Leverett today? Why are they cutting linemen? I got 3. Joe, cut this one. Why are the Patriots cutting linemen? You can't get anybody to play for you. Nobody wants to play for you. You brought a guy in who's a guard who wanted to play center. He had a bad game, and then he can't play because he hurt his ankle because everybody sucks and he's trying to support them all. And then they cut him after they bring in a guy who played 2 practices in a game? Why are you cutting people? What are they doing? What do you think? You're just going to get somebody else there to fill the role? That guy actually played in the league. He's played multiple positions and you cut him? What are you doing? What are you doing? You have no linemen, but you're just going to cut a guy today? That makes no sense. He was here all camp long. Hell, we had David Andrews on this damn radio station saying he was good, and then you cut him? What are you doing? And then you just let one guy you signed for $4 million just make him not available. He played 12 plays and quit on you. But you literally cut Leverett because he had one bad game? Who are you people? You need all the linemen you can get. You need to protect this kid going forward. What are you doing? 617-779-0985. Hey, Don and Carver, how you doing, bro?
Hey, the Bear Whisperer. How are you, Big Joe?
I was just a grizzly. I was a bear, and I got grizzled.
How you doing? I agree with everything you said about our gracious host and why he said what he said. But I am here to talk about Drake Maye, and he was transcendent as far as I'm concerned. He's a rookie kid. He's a kid. He came on into this situation with this crap of a team, and he threw 3 touchdown passes. One of his interceptions was a joke. It was a tip off the other, player's hand. This guy is going to help me watch the Patriots.
Yes.
When I thought I was done with them. And, Joe, this is the first time I've called you where I could see you.
Oh, you see me?
Because I usually call from the car, and you hang in there. I love your show, and I love you, baby.
Yeah, give me a good, adjective on the way out. I know what a holy mackerel. You got one of those for me, right?
You want me to do that one?
Yeah, you got to give me something. I need you to leave on a good note here.
Holy mackerel there!
There he is. That's Don and Carver, everybody. Save that one. We need that one for the night, Joe. We got the guy in Italy, right? The guy, what was it? He didn't have a TV, or was it the air conditioner? I can't remember now.
I went up to my room. I said, oh.
Hey, John in Brookline. How you doing?
Hi, guys. How are you?
How you doing?
First-time caller. I'm coming from I used to listen to the counterpart, but I'm sick of them.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for making the switch.
Yeah. But I wanted to just go back to Robert Kraft, which is the main man in this whole thing. And, he should have never let Brady go. He should have never allowed Belichick to get rid of Brady. And then he should have never get rid of Belichick.
Ooh.
Who lets the best coach in the world go? I just couldn't believe this guy. We have literally the legend as our coach, and we let him go.
Well, John, I'll say this. I'm not here to defend. I'm not here to defend Robert Kraft. All right, hear me out. I'm not here to defend the owner, but I think Belichick did it to himself. But I think he could have spent some money or done more to improve the next guy, because the next guy was someone that looks like right now he's not ready.
I don't know. I have nothing against this new coach, but I don't think he's, ready to lead this team to a build out and then to a better days.
Yeah, thanks, John. Appreciate you, buddy. Thank you for making the switch. All right. Patriots are on the table. The Bruins played today, too. I'm going to hammer them for a few minutes, if you don't mind. We'll do that after the headlines here. I'm Joe Murray, 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
50, but it's short. Pasternak still just 5-on-5. And Elias Lindholm against Lundell on the faceoff. Panthers control it, and the siren sounds to end this one here at TD Garden as the Florida Panthers come to Boston and end a 2-game losing streak with a 4-3 win today over the Bruins.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Just trying to hit on everything. We got the Drake Maye stuff still on the table in the Patriots. Just wanted to touch on the Bruins today, who lost 4-3 at TD Garden Monday afternoon. I was interested in this one because generally the Bruins somewhat fall asleep during these matinee games. But today I went, they're not going to fall asleep against Florida. No way. No Barkov, no Kachuk, no problem. So I hit a bunch of Drake Maye bets over the weekend, sacks, interceptions, yeah, you name it. So I said, hey, why don't we bet some games today when it comes to the Bruins? So I did those props that DraftKings offers, and I went like over Pasternak shots and, Trent Frederick anytime goal and under Jeremy Swayman saves and and the Bruins. Stinker. They came out flat against the Panthers. They didn't play disciplined hockey. None of that. Know what happened? The Florida Panthers are in their head, and that's a fact. And make no doubt about it. Did Greer cheap shot David Pasternak and there was no call? Absolutely. But that's what they want. That's what they do. They're the Florida Panthers, and they continue to beat you. I could make that a song, Skaz, if I really wanted to. That all rhymed and everything. They own you. They're in your heads. So what happens? No call. Then McAvoy gets hit. If you're going to check the dude, McAvoy, at least hit him hard. What was that line Joe Mazzulla said? If you're going to go to the line?
There's no such thing as fouling. You either foul or you die, I think is what he said.
Well, Charlie McAvoy should have hit the guy a little harder for a penalty, personally. So he goes to the box. A little bit of a melee happens. And then, boom, it's 2-1 Florida before you know it. It was a physical brand of hockey. The first period was wild. Kastelik, Beecher, those guys, they played well today. And they continue to play well. But it frustrated Brad Marchand. It frustrated McAvoy. It got in their heads. They played off their game. Florida took complete advantage. And really, that's the takeaway from the game. Because the rest of the way, they couldn't do nothing. I actually thought Sergei Bob was pretty good. I still call him Sergei Bob. I thought he was pretty good. There was a couple of shots. One that Pasternak took, and I went, oh, boy, what a save there. Really nice save. But the first period was wild, that cheap shot. But overall, Panthers 4-3 win tonight. 3 points today. 3 points for Kastelik. 2 apiece for Beecher and Lowry. There were hits. There were fights. It was an entertaining game, but the Bruins are 2-2 now on the season with both losses coming to Florida. That's really my takeaways, guys, is that I think Florida's still in their head.
Yeah, I mean, how could you feel any other way after watching the first week and a half of the season? The Panthers own the Bruins. It was a banged-up Panthers team today. No Kachuk, no Barkov. Still no real problem for them. I thought the Bruins looked slow. And when it comes to the Panthers in the Bruins' head, the mental part of it, I think at some point there has to be some coaching there where the Bruins just aren't ready to go against these guys. They still let them get under their skin. We know exactly what the Florida Panthers are, and right now they're better than you. That's who they are, and they're also more physical. They know how to play the refs better, and whether you like it or not, it's part of the game. It's an NHL thing. It's every sport is playing to the refs. We see it in the NBA take over games at times, but yeah, it's incredibly frustrating as a Bruins fan. But no, they're slow and they haven't looked all together. Swayman has been okay. I think you're going to see a lot of Jeremy Swayman. They don't have a back-to-back until like the late November, so it's going to be a lot of Swayman, as it should be with the new contract. But to me, they just look slow and a little unorganized. Their bottom six is playing pretty well. Their fourth line was very good today, but the top six just not giving you enough so far.
There you go. You nailed it. It's really it. You nailed it. What else can we say? The team's set. They look slow. How many? Jim Montgomery, we don't have to play it. But, hey, what do you think about the power play? It's slow. Hey, what do you think about this? It's slow. Like, everything Montgomery says is it's slow. So the Bruins are slow. Guys, I feel like I'm taking victory laps tonight. Isn't this what we said about the Bruins? That they're going to be slow without DeBrusk, and who'd they trade? I forgot this year. Not Brazzers. But they traded their speed. They moved on from speed and got bigger. Is it going to help? Who knows? Not right now, at least. All right, back to Drake May. Your thoughts, 617-779-0985. Let's talk to Mike. He's in Townsend. Hey, Mike. What's
Hello?
Up? Hey, Mike. You're on the air.
Hey,
buddy.
what's up, guys?
How you doing?
Hey, real quick. Yeah, I feel like he's the bearer of poor coaching. Obviously, like the guy's got raw talent. You look at Brock Purdy. You look at Jared Goff. They don't have the physical skills like Drake May does, and they're succeeding. So where does that lead you? You know what I mean? So
well, here's the deal, Mike. If do you think the coaches can coach up the offensive line? Do you think the coaches can maybe get some of the defensive players to not make penalties? Like, because we haven't seen it at least through 2 games, at least through 5 games.
Yeah, no, I hear that loud and clear. My thing is like, let's switch up the game plan a little bit. Why are we running and getting nothing out of it? Like, sling it around a little bit. Like, let's just make it happen.
I think what you're trying to say, Mike, is be aggressive early on. By the way, a Patriots player did say that after the game yesterday. We'll have that for you coming up in a little bit. But this would be my suggestion next week. Coach Joe, here we go. Coach Joe. You're going up against the Jacksonville Jaguars, who are miserable. They're in London right now. They just got embarrassed by Caleb Williams and the Bears, and the worst team in the NFL is coming in. The only team that's worse than you is the Patriots. And they have decisions to make. What's going to happen to Doug Peterson? Will Trevor Lawrence even start this week? Because I'm flexing hard tonight. What have I been saying? We've been saying for weeks. Get ready. Drake May, Mac Jones, London. We've been telling you this for weeks. We're 50%, 50-50 yes right now. We are 50-50 yes. Please give it to us. Drake May, Mac Jones, Patriots, Jaguars, and the Patriots go to London and beat the Jaguars. And this is my suggestion to Alex Van Pelt. Play loose. Just sling the thing around. Don't be conservative. You got nothing to lose, bro. Throw it around. All the pressure's on them. All the pressure is on the Jaguars. Imagine the Jaguars losing to the Patriots, and the worst team in the NFL is coming in. The only team that's worse than you is the Patriots. That was me talking to the Jags. I think.
Wasn't sure. Wasn't sure.
Well, actually, you know what, Skaz? No one knew who I was talking to, but I think they knew what I meant.
I knew what you meant.
Yeah, you knew what I meant.
The Jaguars are bad. The Patriots should beat the Jaguars.
The only team worse than the Jags is the Patriots. The only
Vegas
team worse than the
doesn't think
Patriots
so,
is the Jags. So, Skaz, I'm going to give you a lesson really quick on betting. You don't need it, but I'm going to tell you anyway.
We're going to talk the 5 rule.
The 5. The old 5. Let me give you a college football example. Utah, 5.5 on the road. Road chalk. What happened to them on Friday night? Lost. Now, there was one bet yesterday in the NFL, 5.5. Green Bay Packers. They won outright, but all the money was on Arizona. Books crushed. The 5.5 in a neutral site game, out. You play blackjack, right? What happens when you get to 13? You hate it. You're like, ah. Or if you get an 11, I always double down unless, they got a king or something. Anyways, we don't need to do blackjack talk. All I'm saying is when the line's 5, stay away. I lean Patriots right off the bat, and they can't do anything right. But at this point, can the Jaguars do anything right? Mac Jones played one series, went 1 for 1 with a sack. 1 for 1 with a sack. Let Drake bake in London. A London broil. We'll have more coming up on the other side, and I'll give you some of these crazy numbers regarding the Patriots at home. 617-779-0985. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on
The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. Got an article up at 98.5thesportshub.com right now. I'll retweet it so everybody can see it. But it says the Patriots' home field advantage is over. It is over. It's gone. The photo I used was all these Mac Jones jerseys with tape over it that says May, which I love, by the way. But the Patriots have a new hope in Drake Maye, who threw for 3 touchdowns in his rookie debut on Sunday at Gillette Stadium. The hopeful performance hides the fact the Patriots lost by 20 points and also lost another game at home. They have now lost 7 in a row at Gillette Stadium after their 41-21 loss to the Texans. They're 1-5 on the season and winless at home through 3 games. I used to bet the Patriots simply because they were playing at home back in the day. Now I'm hoping to take the road favorite by a touchdown or more, which is exactly what happened yesterday. Texans were 6.5-point favorites. Teams have been coming to New England over the last 5 years excited to play a team that no longer has number 12. Even with Bill Belichick on the sideline, the Patriots went 14-20 since Brady left. The record is even worse if you want to look at the last 2 seasons. They're now 1-10 at Gillette Stadium. And with Gerard Mayo now starting his career at home 0-3, the Patriots are 14-23 since Tom Brady left for Tampa Bay. So, Tom Brady in his career, everybody. I'm going to give you the number in a minute here. Skaz, would you say that the Patriots have lost more games in the last 5 years at home than Tom Brady did in 20 years? What
honestly, yes.
You think they've lost more than Brady?
Yes.
Okay. So, since Tom Brady at home, the Patriots are 14-23. Tom Brady, over 20 years, went 121-20.
It was always Tom Brady. Always, always.
Always, always. He went 121-20.
Holy mackerel there!
Although he did lose his final game in a playoff loss to the Titans at home. The mystique is gone. We will never see a run again where a team wins 86% of the time at home. The Patriots actually still have the highest winning percentage at home in NFL history, 83%. Because of who? The Patriots have 5 games remaining at home this season. They'll host the Jets, Rams, Colts, Chargers, and Bills. Their last home win was against Buffalo in 2023, where they upset the Bills 35-23. Drake Maye will continue to develop, but winning at home will show team progression, something they have not shown through 6 games this season. Of course, the Patriots will go across the sea, take on Jacksonville next week. But Patriots record bye season: Cam Newton 5-3 at home. Mac Jones 4-5, made a playoff though. 2022 they went 4-4. Last year they went 1-7. This year 0-3. They're 1-10. 1-10. 1-10. They are a monkey wrench. That's what they are. I just used a song lyric to give you a take. They're 1-10 at home. Can you believe this? This is why I don't have season tickets anymore. This is why. 1-10 out. I don't want to go support that or see that. 1-10? It's miserable over there. But you know what, Skaz? You can see the game from the lighthouse. It is beautiful over there. You can get your Dom steak tips, the official steak tip of the New England Patriots. You can eat it in the lighthouse, too, if you want. 1-10. 1-10. 1-10. 1-10. Don't want to be your monkey wrench. That's what the Patriots are. 1-10 at home. The home field advantage is gone, everybody. It is gone. Gone. Now some guy wants to call in from Tampa Bay. Hi, Jason.
How are ya?
Hi.
Feel bad for you guys,
Thank you.
but I gotta thank you for Tom.
Tom. Tell us about Tom.
Oh, he's unbelievable if you keep him upright.
Damn right.
Yep.
Yep. How about that?
I was against.
How about that Baker Mayfield?
I like him. He plays tough, but he makes bad decisions still.
They scored 51 points yesterday, man.
Yeah.
Did Brady ever score 51 points?
I think we did score 50 with Brady.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was a season ticket holder for 2 years with him.
I mean, hey, listen, Tom Brady left the Bucs and they're still doing pretty well.
Yeah, I understand that, but you guys ain't got. You lost a lot of players, not just Tom.
Well,
a lot of players left because of Tom left.
Well, I agree with that. Yeah, because they stopped paying them.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the Bucs, they seem to pay everybody. Oh, he's gone. You didn't want to hear more about Tom?
I think I was good on that one, Joe. The wind in the background was probably the most egregious part of the call. But, yeah, not great all around.
Do you know what that kind of reminded me of?
You were doing a little boomhauer there for a second.
Well, you know what it is Feinbaum.
Paul.
Paul.
Tom.
That's what Thank you for Tom. Thank you for Tom. You're welcome, bro. You're welcome. Because I watched something today. What was that called? The Breakfast Room or something? What was that thing I sent where Kraft was talking? I think it's called The Breakfast Room. Kraft talked a lot. I don't know what. You know what's funny? I don't know what to. There's been so many Patriots shows, or Julian Edelman had a show, and then the Brady 6, and then the Brady 10, and then the This Is Brady, and then the 80 and Brady, and then the dudes, and then I don't know anymore who's who and what's the story. I'm confused. Anyways, you know what I'm not confused about? The defense. The Patriots defense, come on now. Don't give me this, they're the top 10 defense anymore. I won't have it. We'll tell you why after the headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBZ-FM and HD Boston.
Patriots!
From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the past.
Yes.
98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
Bruins lose today at home in a matinee versus the Florida Panthers. What happened? No Kachuk, no Barkov, no problem for the Panthers. Well, what the big problem was there was a hit early on, and then a melee happened. The hit was on Pasternak. He was bleeding. And then there were power plays that it wasn't good after that. It just wasn't good. And no one's happy, including the head coach. It's just nobody was good and nobody was happy. Patriots lost yesterday, but they got 3 touchdowns from Drake Maye. They also released Nick Leverett today. I don't know why. Monday Night Football, Jets, Bills. MLB playoffs. Mets have a 6-3 lead later on tonight. Cleveland and New York. Headlines are brought to you by Prestige Security Solutions. Protect your home or business with fully integrated, cutting-edge, and affordable security solutions, and get 10% off a new system or addition with their fall sale. Visit secureboston.com for real if you're interested in a new solution. You should give them a call, 10% off. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update soon.
Boston's best sports talk. There's an app for that. Download the Sports Hub app for loads of stuff. Absolutely free. Connect with the shows, get podcasts, and more. Get it where you get your apps. Or at 985sportshub.com.
Hi, Gerard. I wanted to ask, you were very critical of the defense last night. Now that you've had some time, what specifically was kind of the biggest issue last night, did you see?
One thing I would say is, the turnovers and the field position, they were put in some tough situations. I would say our red area defense was poor. And then really just the big plays after that.
back here 98.5, the Sports Hub. Oh, the Patriots are down in the hole. I think I'm down in the hole. Listen to that guy talk. He doesn't know what script to use anymore. He doesn't. He doesn't know what to say. He backtracks a lot. I have proof. I have proof of it. Anyways, the Patriots, when it comes to them and it comes to their defense, it's been bad. Last year, the Patriots' defense was top 10 in the league. When you lose Christian Barmore, when you lose Matthew Judon, when you lose Jawan Bentley, you're going to be worse. When you lose Jabril Peppers, you're going to be worse. They are. Raekwon McMillan's in the middle of the field. Sione Takitaki with a penalty early on in the game. I've said all year long, I think their corners are short. What do? They throw high on them. They don't have a fourth corner. Their safety group is getting thinner. They don't have anyone that can rush the passer. I mean that. I know. Did you even hear of Keon White yesterday, guys? Did he even play? Curious if he did anything yesterday. I don't remember seeing him at all. Can you think? Do you think this coaching staff can correct mistakes? Right, because this team isn't making any progress at the moment. They're not getting better through coaching. That's a fact. And we're 6 games in already. If you think about it, guys, 1/3 of the season's already over. Just like that. 1/3 of the season's over. What does this team do? What's the identity? What's the imprint that the coaching staff brings this team? Especially all this new group. I've seen nothing. All I see is a staff that's incapable. Mayo, after every game, we talk about it all the time. Yeah, you talk about it a lot, Gerard. What is changing, sir? After the game yesterday, the first thing he said, it's the same story over and over again. What does that fall on? If it's the same story over and over again, who does that fall on? The coaches. I'm sick of hearing it. The penalties in the first half, it was too many. 3 or 4 turnovers, it's too many. Can't win the battle. He talks about the fundamentals of tackling all the time. Do you do drills, bro? For real, guys, we used to get the dummy. If we had a bad tackling week, we used to get the dummy and tackle that dummy all week long. Sometimes we wouldn't even bring footballs to practice. We would just hit dummies all day. What are these guys doing?
What do you do?
Our run fits have to improve. Yeah, you got a lot of fits, bro. It's just this isn't winning football. Stop. This is the one that bothers me, guys. Last week, right? The Dolphins. The Dolphins ran for 192 yards. So you would think this week, all right, guys, let's take some pride. We're not going to give up 190 this week. That would be my numbers, guys. We're not giving up 190. We gave up 192 last week. We're not giving up 190 this week. So what happens? The Texans get 2 runs over 50 yards. And then a 20-something yard touchdown. The Dolphins ran for 193 on you. And what do the Texans do? You let them run for 192. Don't give me the time of possession, because last week I did. Last week I gave them the benefit of the doubt. There was no improvement. None. That's on coaching. The Patriots last week had 12 penalties against Miami. Guess how many they had yesterday, guys? 9. Improvement, though, right? 12-9. I mean, if we're doing math, they're still having 9 penalties a game. There's no improvement from the coaching staff. And just to crush the defense one more time. When they played the Jets, who are playing tonight against the Bills, 1-point underdogs, the Jets ran the ball 33 times for 133 yards and a touchdown. So when you play the 49ers, all right, cool. Well, we're not going to give up another 100 yards, right? You play the 49ers, they run it 32 times for 148 for a touchdown. So they have now gotten worse week by week, okay? Then the Dolphins run it on them 41 times for 193 yards and a touchdown. Guys, this is the week. This is the week. We're not going to let the Texans and Joe Mixon or Cam Akers run. Instead, they run for 192 on 28 carries and 2 touchdowns. The defense sucks. It's not improving at all. There's no coaching. They have no talent and no pass rush. They're a bunch of zeros right now. This defense will not give Mac Jones an opportunity. I just say Mac Jones again. This defense will not give Drake Maye an opportunity. Drake Maye will have his 3 big plays a game because he's good enough to do that on his own right now. But he's not good enough to come from behind 14-0 or give up 17 points in the third quarter. It's not going to happen. I'm going to talk to Alex Barth coming up in just a little bit, but we'll talk to you guys. We got Al in Rhode Island. Hey, Al.
Hey, you know, I think we're going to look back on the fact that the Kraft, coming off of a 20-plus years of having the greatest quarterback of all time, in their wisdom, decided not to interview a single candidate for his replacement and hire a guy that has 0 head coaching experience. Now, I still have no idea whether Mayo's a great coach, but he had no pedigree and it was stupid not to bring other people in. And I think you can certainly criticize him for bringing in an offensive coordinator who is not one of these young, innovative guys, certainly not going to be a candidate for any other head coaching job for the foreseeable future. And, you know, the early returns with a very bad roster, you know, they're mixed at best. And I just do not understand the mindset of the Kraft to not bring in a variety of different people before finally settling on somebody.
You're right. Everyone's right. You're right. Listen, the ownership hired a guy who's not ready, and they hired a bunch of guys that aren't right, and then they have no veteran in there for Mayo to lean on. He's on his own. It's evident. We see it every week now. My thing is it's not a good radio show to just blame the owner on everything. Yeah, it's him. It's his to blame. It's his to blame. He's to blame. They have coaches that can't coach. All I ask for is just, can you see some progression? You know, you ever hire someone and they suck? You know, they just suck. You knew it. The second you hired him, you're like, yeah, this isn't good. But then you see progression, right? They ask good questions. They get a sale that you don't realize. Like, oh my God, wow, this guy's better than I thought. Like, you're not getting any of that from this coaching staff. Is there anywhere where you're like, wow, they've really improved that run defense? Oh, wow, man, they're really, those stunts look really good this week. No. Skaz, you got anything on this? Has the defense done anything that you're like, wow, they do a nice job of that?
Off the top of my head, no, Joe. I mean, Roy seems to be an okay find.
Where did you get him? 2 sacks in a week? What's he doing?
You know, he sacked last week.
Did they coach him up?
You know,
hey, you know who works with those guys, by the way? Dante Hightower. And he's just there because he's a former player. I mean, maybe he wants to be. Do you think Hightower knows how to be a coach? No, but.
I mean, Joe, you've just done 15, 16 minutes on the defense. We haven't even mentioned Christian Gonzalez's day yesterday. He had a rough one yesterday.
They picked on him.
Yeah. They went out of their way to pick on him.
They did.
And I thought at times too, his some of his tackling efforts were not the greatest either. Not just his coverage, but yes, a tough day for Christian Gonzalez.
I think
yesterday.
He's worried about his shoulder. He had a shoulder injury last year, right? They kept him out for the year. Yeah, he's not in the run game because he's worried of his shoulder. He's on the questionable every week, right? With a shoulder. You know, when you get run up 190 yards a game, guys, That shoulder might tighten up a little bit next week, you know? Oh, the ride from London, bro. Oh, my shoulder. Yeah, he's not getting his nose dirty as much as he used to. So what happens when you're a 1-5 football team? We'll talk to Alex Barth, 98.5thesportshub.com, coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
Drake May. Pow. Let's talk to Alex Barth. He's from 98.5thesportsup.com. He joins us on the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline on the Joe Murray Show, which I'm still hard and weird of me saying. Hi, Alex. How are you, sir?
How's it going, Joe? It's been the Joe Murray Show for a while now. Still weird?
It's still weird. I just say Joe Show or the Night Show.
How long has it been officially?
I think it's been a year and a half.
I was going to say definitely over a year.
Definitely over here. You've been coming on now for 2 seasons.
Love it.
What was the vibe like yesterday? What was the experience like? And what did Alex Barth see different yesterday than the previous 5 games?
The vibe was interesting just because, they got blown out. They got blown out, but people were still enjoying the game because I think you saw that glimpse of the future, which is what people have been waiting for so long. Like any sort of sign that this thing's going to change direction and start trending in the right direction. What I saw differently is a quarterback who can make things happen on his own, who can make things happen out of structure, who can access certain parts of the field that few quarterbacks in the league can. It wasn't all perfect for May. Certainly, there's things he has to improve, and if that's as good as it gets for him in the NFL, then he's not going to justify that pick. But I don't think that's going to be the case. He certainly showed a lot of potential, and you can kind of see where the growth is going to need to be, and it's not unrealistic. So I was very encouraged by what I saw yesterday.
I'm encouraged because I saw progression during the game. If you saw that Demario Douglas play, he missed him on that third down on the right side, overthrew it. But on the left side, he hits him in stride and takes it for a touchdown. That's improvement. And although I still think the Patriots made the right decision starting Jacoby Brissett, I just wonder if he got that experience 6 weeks ago, where would he be now?
Yeah, I just don't think that big picture that matters because I'm with you. I think it was right to start with Jacoby Brissett because you even saw yesterday he was limping. Who knows if he comes in 6 weeks ago when they're still trying to figure out the offensive line, maybe he's not playing right now because I'm surprised Jacoby Brissett made it through 5 weeks without getting hurt. I don't think any quarterback could have done that. Drake May's a big guy. He's a tough guy, but Jacoby Brissett kind of has been through this and knows how to handle it, unlike Drake. So at the end of the day, if Drake May ends up being a great player, is anybody going to sit there and be like, yeah, he's great and that's all well and good, but man, if only they had him in September of 2024, right? If we're sitting here in 2030 and he's a championship caliber quarterback, is anybody really going to be there looking at it like, but if they played him in September 2024, I really could enjoy this a lot more.
All right, I wanted to ask you about just who benefited from Drake May playing, and I'm looking at 2 guys that were drafted in the 6th and 7th rounds, or the 6th rounds, or whatever it is. Booty and Douglas, that is the top option right now. Those 2 guys, 6th and basically 6th round picks and 7th round picks. This is where the Patriots are at. I think they benefited than anybody else.
Douglas. Certainly, and it never felt like he got on the same page as Jacoby Brissett. But what you saw yesterday is why it's so important for Pop Douglas to be involved in this offense, because even with Drake May and his arm, their ability to throw the ball down the field for the short term is going to be limited because they're not going to have the time because of the offensive line. So you need guys who can get the ball in their hands and then go on to make plays. And Pop Douglas does that better than anybody on the team. And he's well above average around the league in terms of making plays with the ball in his hand. So I think he benefited tremendously. You mentioned, it's all 6th round picks benefiting. Most of their receivers are 6th round picks. The one guy who's not is Jalen Polk, who obviously had some trouble yesterday with drops, and that certainly becomes something to watch here moving forward. But I think seeing Drake May and Pop Douglas on the same page yesterday was as encouraging as anything, because the plan is to build around Drake May, right? But at the same time, you kind of look at it and say, okay, is there anybody here who is going to be part of that build? And is there anybody currently here who you're going to build around him with? Because every player that's here now that you can account for in the long term is one less guy you have to add moving forward. And it feels like in Pop Douglas, they have a player who should be there side by side with Drake Maye moving forward as they build this thing up.
All right, we're talking with Alex Barth, 98.5, thesportshub.com. Alex, after the game yesterday, Gerard Mayo said that the team, him, and the coaching staff let Drake Maye down. What was your takeaway behind that comment?
I was honestly still kind of processing him telling the defense they should feel like crap. But I get what he's saying. I think that was more coach speak in a macro sense. Like, this guy played well, nobody else did. He put out a winning effort, we didn't. Where they let Drake Maye down is back in the spring with the offensive line they assembled. By the way, most of that isn't left. They have just 5 active offensive linemen who are with the team in camp at this point, plus 1 on the practice squad. But, I just kind of thought that was coach speak for, one guy played well enough for us to win, everybody else didn't.
Yeah, I like your answer when you said, it's for what they didn't do or what they did in the offseason. That's the way I took that one. So I just went on I had a little nutty, it's always the little things that get me, Alex, not the big things, but why release Nick Leverett? Like, I know he had a bad game. It was bad. But, like, this guy's played in the league. The Patriots aren't in the position to just release offensive linemen. What happened there?
That's exactly what I said, Joe. And I don't know, unless there's something about his injury that we don't know. And, like, if he wasn't going to be able to play this year, maybe they released him with an injury designation, and that's just not out yet. But, look, Ben Brown was impressive yesterday. I would say, like, pound for pound, right? Obviously, you like what you saw from Drake Maye. Ben Brown showing up on Thursday, starting on Sunday, and being their best offensive lineman, he was the most impressive player on the field yesterday for the Patriots, Ben Brown, and he should start next week. But Leverett's a veteran. He can play center. He can play guard, where they're also banged up. They lost Michael Jordan yesterday. I just don't get that one. Did they need a roster spot? I feel like there's other places they can get it. You have 7 receivers. Tyquan Thornton's not playing. Can you move him or just release him at this point? They've got some corners that aren't really playing a ton. Maybe a guy goes on IR. Yeah, I really can't think of a good reason for it unless he's hurt worse than we know.
All right, Alex, give me a answer besides, like, injuries or missing people on defense. When I give you these numbers, you've probably seen them, you know them. It's gotten worse every week. 133 against the Jets, 148 against the 49ers, 193 against the Dolphins. And, you know what, guys, let's hold them. We can't give up 190 again. Well, they did it on less carries, 192 yesterday. Like, what's going on with the run defense at this point?
The fundamentals just aren't there. And yes, they lost guys, but backups, you're still NFL players. They're still basic assignment football they're not handling. The run fits aren't there. The tackling technique has kind of deteriorated as the season has gone on as well. It's just basic stuff. I don't think they're getting out schemed. I don't even think necessarily they're getting out muscled or it's an athleticism or a strength issue. It's just that guys are out of position, and even when they're in position, they're not positioning themselves correctly to make tackles.
Yeah, that is one that if I was a defensive player and I saw those numbers right there, I would like just run sprints and hit dummies all week long, and just because next week they're going to see Etienne, who I think got benched or hurt something. Tank Dell. I mean, they really can't lean on not Tank Dell. Yeah. What did I say? Tank Dell. I said Mac Jones 5 times tonight too regarding Drake Maye. So
I mean, look, I'd be lying if part of me says I don't want to see that.
Yeah. Okay. Let's look at it next week. Jaguars, Patriots. So whenever I see that number 5 on a betting line, Alex, I'm out. Like I know yesterday Green Bay was 5.5 and covered, but normally that doesn't work. So I already like the Patriots, even though I think they're going to lose every game. But like the Super Bowl for Doug Peterson's career is on the line. And do you think there's a shot Mac Jones could play?
There's a shot he can play. I don't think he's going to start. They're just too committed to Trevor Lawrence. Signing him to that contract, and then what would that be, 7 games in, benching him for a former first-round pick who left his last team on not great terms. I just don't think they can do that. Now, could Mac Jones play? Absolutely. Like, could he get in a game later? Absolutely, I could see that. But, in terms of the spot, the thing I go back and forth on is it an advantage or a disadvantage that the Jaguars are staying in London this week after playing there last week? Because on one hand, like they're there, they don't have to, they're not going to have to deal with the jet lag. It's just kind of going to be more routine. It's not as much different. They're not going to have a 6 hour, however long flight, just the days before the game. But on the other hand, I wonder, especially coming off that loss, are they worn out? Are they exhausted? Do they want to go home? Like, remember a couple of years ago when the Patriots were out on the West Coast and Trent Brown tweeted about being like homesick or something?
Yep.
Do they just get kind of fed up with being over there and it's like, all right, let's just get this game over with and go home, especially with, when you get home, you're going to have a new coach. That's what I keep going back and forth on is where's the psyche of the Jaguars heading into this game?
I just know Doug Peterson, his job's on the line. They traded some guy today. That's going to be a crap flight there.
Well, he got traded to Seattle, so it's not just flying back to the U.S. It's going all the way across. I looked it up. It's a 10-hour flight. So he'd better know the playbook when he walks in. He's got plenty of time to study it.
Jeez. What a week of college football, huh? Those are some really good games. Ohio State and Oregon. I had Oregon. They won. Obviously, we saw what happened with the quarterback there late in the game. But the tackles, a bunch of tackles were on display. Did anybody impress you?
Well, I'm looking forward to if we can fast forward to this week. And Kelvin Banks has grown on me more and more as the season has gone on. I think a lot of football to go. I think I have him as my number one tackle in the draft right now. And Texas faces Georgia on Saturday. Mm-hmm. And they've got, Georgia edge rushers. People know that the pedigree there. These are guys that are all top 50 picks. It stinks the way the schedule worked out this year that there aren't a ton of marquee matchups for LSU and Texas where Will Campbell and Kelvin Banks are. This is absolutely one. This is a huge game, huge spot for Kelvin Banks. And I'm trying to remember who LSU plays. But I think we're going to see a lot and then
LSU has Arkansas, who's got a good offense.
Okay, so Arkansas, they've got some decent edge rushers, but I think when we talk about Banks, this game is going to go a long way in his draft stock.
Yeah, I watched. Did you see the report about NFL scouts being down on the tackles this year? And
yeah,
I was just going to say I just saw a mock draft that had the kid from Texas going 10 to the Dolphins.
Yeah, I don't put a ton of stock into that. And I'm actually writing about this in the Patriots mailbag, which will be up tomorrow on 985thesportshub.com. Somebody asked me about this. NFL scouts are always a little skittish on younger players. Both of these guys are true juniors. I understand with Will Campbell, there's some concerns about his arm length, but it's one thing to say they're not a top 10 talent, but when you factor in the positional value of tackle, like there are teams that need tackles that are going to take these guys. It's becoming like quarterback, right? Was Bo Nix one of the 15 best players in the draft last year? Absolutely not. But he's a quarterback. Teams need quarterbacks, so he goes up there. Kenny Pickett being a first-round pick a few years ago. So, whether or not scouts are comfortable with them in the top 10, I think some of that is just unfamiliarity, right? They don't really know these kids. Everybody's a little more skittish about prospects this time of year because you haven't met them, you haven't had the Senior Bowl, you haven't had the Combine, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then on top of that, it's just, well, if you need a tackle, that's where you're going to get them. You're not going to wait until the second round and get a potential franchise guy. Well, we have the 8th pick, and this guy's 12th value. Well, then trade down or take him. I just think people are getting a little too cute with it.
Well, right now the Patriots would have the number 1 pick. Would it be of value to draft a tackle, even though they might be considered the 10th pick in the draft at 1, or should they trade down?
I mean, well, look, there's a difference between the hypothetical I gave was at 8. If the Patriots are at 1, you can move down to 4 or 5. Know you're getting at least one of those two guys and get a haul. So if the Patriots do end up number 1, unless Banks really blows them away and they feel like he's going to go second, or Campbell blows them away and they feel like he's going to go second, moving down 3 or 4 spots would make a lot of sense and would be something that would make sense doing.
All right, Alex. I read an article today, 985thesportshub.com. Have you seen the Patriots' home record since Brady left?
Not since Brady left. I think they're 1-11 since the start of last year.
Yep, 1-7 last year, and then 0-3 this year. And their last win
so
was
1-10 in 11.
Yep, and then the last win was against Buffalo. But Brady went 121-20 at home in his career.
Oh, I've seen this. Haven't they already matched the number of losses Brady had at home his entire career here?
14-23. 22, sorry.
So they passed it. Okay, yeah, no, it had. Look, they got to start winning at home. That's just in any sport. This is something that bugged me about this year's Red Sox team. If they played nearly close to as well on the road as they did at home, they might be playing tonight. Who knows? But if you're not winning at home, it's really hard to build up from there. They've got to start figuring out ways to win games at home.
All right, Alex, big one this week. Alabama. Well, not Alabama. It's Texas and Georgia.
Well, Alabama, Tennessee is a big one,
I was
too.
going to say that, too. It's a big one. All right, Alex, appreciate your time, man. And tomorrow's the mailbag, right? Mailbag. When can people send you the mailbag stuff?
If you want, I have a tweet up right now at Real Alex Barth. You got to get him in because I'm finishing up writing it. But you can still get him in, or just tweet him at me at this point, and I'll try to answer as many as I can.
All right, he's Alex Barth. Everybody, 98.5thesportshub.com. Alex, appreciate your time, bud.
Thanks for having me, Joe.
Thank you. I like talking college football with Alex. Pa. I did see that report this week that tackles they say it's the worst tackle group they've seen in years. And if all these people who I want the Patriots to get the number one pick. I want the Patriots to get the number one pick. Careful what you wish for. Careful what you wish for. I don't want to leave this guy on hold, guys, so let's talk to him. His name is Marty. He's from Boston. He wants to talk about Drake Maye and AVP. Hi, Marty.
Hey, how's it going? Can you hear me?
I can. Where in Boston you from?
I'm from Southie.
Southie. All right. Love Southie.
Yes, sir. It's something I'd like to bring up is that Drake Maye's first touchdown pass in the first half there. They're running the 2-minute offense. He delivers a perfect ball there. And I think something you look at there is the chip on the left side of the line. They knew the tackle was going to collapse, and the running back came up. Is that AVP? Is it Drake Maye calling at the line? It's nice to see New England quarterback deliver a ball like that. I don't think we've seen that since Tom Brady.
You know what's funny?
That type of pass.
Marty, good call on that because there was a couple of times where I thought the Patriots like Hunter, right? He had a couple of sacks. Will Anderson had 3 sacks. They never chipped him. They never put 2 guys on him once. It was 1-on-1 all day, and he had 3 sacks, which I did not agree with. But on Hunter's side, they did throw some things his way. They tried a screen, but it got intercepted. But on that play in particular, though, I think that he knew that he was going deep. They were going to launch it and take a shot. I think that one was planned, so I'm going to say everybody was involved in it.
Yep. I'd like to see, AVP is obviously, we're going to see how he deals with having a new quarterback here, but I'd like to see some more, somebody helping out on the edge and some more pistol and, get Drake running a little bit. He can run. We saw that. He can throw it. We saw that as well. So, I'm hoping for the future of this offense. We see a little bit more protection on the sides. Somebody helping out, somebody chip in, maybe a block and release where Drake feels more comfortable. Okay, I can deliver the ball down the field. I think that's what his strength is.
You got it, man. Appreciate you, Marty. Thank you, sir. I love South Boston. Used to go there late nights, guys, back in the day. Go for a nice walk around Castle Island every once in a while. L Street Tavern, been there. What was the other one I used to go to? It's right on the corner there. What was that bar called? Anyways, you spend a lot of time out there. And you know what else we used to spend a lot of time on, Skaz? Talking about the Celtics. Did you see the whale? Did you see the orca? I told you about it. Skaz wrote about it, too. They're hunting in packs like whales, and they did it this weekend. I'll tell you what they did next here on the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Bruins. Article up over at 985thesportshub.com. Jaylen Brown told you on Hot Ones, they're the whales. They're running in swimming in packs. They're going after seals, and they're on the attack. And I'm trying to tell you that they're going to shoot more threes this year. So, after a great nap that I had, I was watching Ohio State and Oregon. I flipped over to see what the Celtics score was, and they were up by 50 points. And then I went to three-point shots, Skaz, and I saw 23 of 47 for 49%. 49% from three. I'll just give you some of the numbers. Tatum went 3 for 8. That's good. Holiday 1 for 2. White 1 for 4. Tillman. Xavier Tillman shooting threes, guys. Xavier Tillman is shooting threes. He went 3 for 3. Baylor Shireman went 2 for 5. Sam Hauser went 5 for 6. Pritchard 3 for 7. Jordan Walsh 3 for 3. They won by 50.
They only won by 4 the other night, Joe, after leading big at
They didn't
halftime.
play any starters.
No, they didn't play anybody. Yeah, this preseason has been great for the Celtics. Just looks like more of the same. Absolutely blowing teams out, up by 30, 40, you name it. Peyton Pritchard has been great, as expected. But for me, Jordan Walsh and Xavier Tillman, as you mentioned, are the two guys that I think can actually, factor into this roster, factor into this team throughout the season. Walsh, I'll be interested where he is to start the season, but if he can shoot the 3, well, yeah, I mean, he's going to be in Maine. But
progression.
If he can shoot the 3, that's a huge step. He seems to be a guy they
last year he didn't even shoot it. They wanted him to shoot it.
Can be, an elite defender, just kind of an energy guy. So, yeah, I mean, Baylor Shireman's kind of struggled a little bit to start. He hasn't been able to find a shot. I think you said 2 of 5, which was a big improvement from his first couple of preseason games. But yeah, Xavier Tillman is a guy that, with Horford getting older, he's not going to be playing on back-to-backs, is a guy they're going to have to lean on. And if he can give you a couple buckets, even if it's only 2 or 3 threes a night, that's going to be more than enough with the rest of the guys they have on this roster.
They're loaded. They are loaded. They have a guy, Drew Peterson, on their team. I swear this kid could shoot for another team. If he was on Cleveland, I think he'd be a shooter. I'm talking a rotational shooter. He's probably, I'll tell you though, they've developed him, right? And they got Hauser back, but if they ever wanted to move on from Hauser, I think they have a replacement. Hauser does a little bit more, Scott, so I'm not trying to compare the players. But Drew Peterson drops 23 off the bench. Peyton Pritchard, as you mentioned. There's one other guy we should talk about. And I'll make it quick. Lonnie Walker had 20 points. Lonnie Walker had this really deep Instagram post the other night about how hard he's working. The fact of the matter is, if he doesn't get a roster spot, he'll go to Maine. He'll stay there. But any team can pluck him. The problem is with the cap is for every million counts as 10 million, realistically.
So
10%.
There is, so Lonnie Walker is a $10 million tax hit, but if he goes to Maine, they can rework his deal later in the season.
Correct.
I'm not sure that's going to happen.
He won't hang around.
Because he's shown he's an NBA player.
What I think they should do, Skaz, I'll make it quick. Is there a buyer for Jaden Springer? Is there a buyer? Is there someone that thinks he can defend? Because, if you want Marcus Smart, right? The Knicks or someone like that, why not Springer? Younger, develop. But I think Lonnie Walker is their long-term guy for a roster spot. It's going to be really hard to sneak him on, especially with the money. We got in or out coming up next. What's it going to be, McFly? Are you in or out? We'll do that next here on the Sports Hub.
What's it gonna be, McFly? Are you in or out?
You're listening to Joe Murray.
gotta know without a doubt. I'm the one you need for a dirty deed. I'm the best. Success is...
You just can't be the MVP and not play on back-to-backs.
Who are you?
He signed a 3-year, $193 million deal.
193, okay, 193. Out! I'm done with Embiid. I don't need him anymore. You're big, you can score, you're funny. I'm out. Big, score, and funny, that will do well in life, but not in my court.
All right, Joe Murray, one I have a feeling you might be in on. Taco Bell.
Ah, yes.
The Taco Bell app has a new feature where you can put in how much money you want to spend, and it will spit out a random combo of items. If you don't like the combo, you can refresh the page, and it'll give you a different combo. So basically, you tell Taco Bell you want to spend $13.50, and you hit the refresh button. It basically gives you a parlay of Taco Bell items for $13.50. And if you don't like it, you just hit refresh, and you get a whole new combo of items. Joe Murray, are you in or out on the Taco Bell parlay builder, for lack of a better term?
And can Taco Bell build me a same game parlay as well? Hey, I got $25. I want a greasy bet for tonight, Skaz. I just asked you off the air. I need something greasy. Can Taco Bell build me a same game parlay, greasy parlay?
I think it's just grease, Joe. You're getting straight up menu items.
I would hope so. Can you give me like a Josh Allen touchdown and yards and interception? Okay, so I have $15. They could get me like 3 tacos, the Frito burrito, and like nachos and cheese and a what's that drink I like? The Baja Blast. And I could just reset and have it, in. You know what? I think more places should be like, dude, I got $15. What? Give me everything you can for $15.
Take the thought out of it. Just give me what you can.
We should do that with the weed guy. Hey, man, I got like $25. What can you do for me, man? And you're happy, right? What's the difference? Next.
All right, Joe, this is one we normally probably wouldn't get to, but there's a small Boston tie-in here, so I figured why not? Hugh Jackman and Kate Hudson have been cast to star in a new musical. The musical drama follows a married couple who form a Neil Diamond tribute band.
Out.
Joe Murray, are you in or out?
No.
On the musical?
No.
A married couple forming a Neil Diamond tribute band.
There.
I think he's pretty well liked. I don't know enough, but they just made a movie about him.
Howie Long.
In. Local guy.
You're thinking
of that with the Chargers? I guess out. Out on Archie.
Well, Doc Rivers.
Out on Doc. If you want to blow a series lead, that's your guy.
How about George Foreman?
Love his grills. All right, Joe. Since we're in the NBA, we'll end.
One more. Buddy Ryan.
I think in on Buddy Ryan.
Okay.
We'll end with this
LeBron James. Kidding. Go ahead.
Bum Phillips.
There you go.
We'll end with this one. Billy Crystal, Jack Nicholson, and Alan Horschowitz will be inducted into the NBA Hall of Fame in the fan section. Joe Murray, are you in or out on Spike Lee, Billy Crystal, Jack Nicholson, and Alan Horschowitz getting into the NBA Hall of Fame?
Vomit! Alex Van Puke? Out? No. Just like you're going to yell at your dog. No. We should not let fans into the Hall of Fame. I'm a hell of a fan. I belong in the Hall of Fame too. Out. No to me. I'm out on Joe going to the Hall of Fame.
Big time out on Billy Crystal in the Hall of Fame.
Out. I don't need Harry from Met Sally in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, where's Aztec Gino? Get him in there before these guys.
Put him in before him. Out. Quad out.
Might be a first.
If I had 4 middle fingers, they'd get them all. Each one of them. Out. All right, well, let's think of a greasy parlay to put in for the game. Or just one greasy bet. We'll do that after the headlines.
WBC-FM and HD Boston.
Patriots!
From the opening kickoff to the final play.
Touchdown!
Your home of the pass.
Yes.
98.5. The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, Bruins lose 4-3 today. It wasn't good. Patriots let go of Nick Leverett. I don't know why. Monday Night Football just about to get underway. Bills and Jets. And in baseball, Dodgers got the win. While they're up 1-1. Series tie 1-1. 7-3 today they won. And Cleveland and the Yankees, no score, bottom of the second. Headlines are brought to you by South Shore Bank. At Beatles Bank, sharing your success and growing your business is what Above and Beyond Banking is all about. Visit SouthShoreBank.com, member FDIC, member DIF, equal housing lender. I'm Joe Murray, and let's parlay.
This is Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown turns the corner. Finger roll is up and good. Score to the foul.
Listen to home of the Boston Celtics, 98.5, the Sports Hub.
Real greasy. Meaning like above like 500 or 600. Could Aaron Rodgers run one in for 1,000? What about, is Marcus Valdez-Scantling playing? Let's look up the Jets inactives. Let's get this going here. Going with a long shot tonight, everybody. Okay, so Frank Gore Jr. is playing tonight because there's injuries to James Cook. So I'm going to go Marquez Valdez-Scantling plus 1,100. That's what I'm taking, Skaz. Marquez Valdez-Scantling plus 1,100 anytime touchdown. In? You can ring the bell if you'd like. Go ahead. But that plus 1,100, that's a good. That's greasy.
That's definitely greasy, Joe. That would fit right in the Taco Bell greasy parlay builder.
I wish. Oh man, some guys at LeVar Ball, maybe the worst pro dad ever. That pro dad thing
might be an article there.
Might have to do that. We're going to talk to Zach Cox coming up in a few, but let's talk to Maddie's in Waltham. Hey, Matt.
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
I'm good.
Just wanted to talk about Gerard Mayo real quick. You know, I feel like with each passing week, I just feel like he's more and more in over his head. You know, like listening to his press conferences during the week, I feel like we're just getting like a word salad. He's saying way too much stuff. He's contradicting himself in the process. And then each of the last few weeks, like the defense is collapsing. The fundamentals are terrible. The penalties have been getting really bad. And I feel like that all ties back to coaching. I just feel like each and every week it's getting a little bit worse. And not for anything. I don't know if you've realized this as well, but I feel like whenever they show him on the broadcast, he's kind of just like blankly staring across the field. Like I'm not quite sure what he's doing on game day. Like at least with Belichick, he was talking with people or like flipping through his pamphlets. Now, I'm not seeing any of that from Mayo, and I don't know if it's his lack of experience. I didn't love the hire to begin with, but I just feel like he's not the guy for a rebuilding team, a team that's in like a deep rebuild like this. And just want to get your thoughts on that.
Thanks, Matt. And he's not. And it's nothing personal against him. He's a linebackers coach, coaching a team. He's got nobody to lean on. That's coached before. Nobody. And it shows. Jeremy in Swansea. Hey, Jeremy.
Hey, Joe. How's it going?
How you doing?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Joe?
How you doing?
Hey, listen, a couple of my buddies and I went to the game yesterday, and we got there at like 10 o'clock. We were, hanging out and whatnot, and we were talking about, about the coin toss and what should the Pats do if they win the coin toss. And I was saying, if the Pats win the coin toss, you take the ball immediately, get Drake Maye on the field, and kind of, as far as the plays are concerned, I don't like Alex Barth, but you win the coin toss, you take him on the field. And what I was telling my buddies, which exactly is how it played out. The worst possible scenario was the Texans get the ball, they march down the field for, a 5 or 6 minute drive or whatever, and they punch it in for 7. And then Drake May comes out on the field for the second drive, they go 3 and out, and then you're automatic, it just puts that weight, that pressure on Drake May even more. Then they're not really making it very easy for Drake May, in my opinion. And he did awesome yesterday, as far as I'm concerned. And Alex Van Pelt, he needs to go. He needs to go. And let me ask you this, Joe. Where is Josh McDaniels, and what is he doing? I know that he's sitting on his couch maybe getting paid millions and millions of dollars from Vegas. Why don't we bring him back in?
He's getting paid elsewhere, Jerry. I appreciate your call, but he's getting paid to do nothing, and I would too. Again, guys, you know what I'd be doing? I said this over the weekend to somebody. I go, dude, if I came into millions and millions of dollars, everything that I would drink, even a Celsius, would have a little umbrella in it. That is relaxation to me. Anything with an umbrella in the drink. Hey, we'll talk to Zach Cox of the Boston Herald coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on the Sports Hub.
So, why don't we go to the Volkswagen Dealers Expert Hotline? Welcome in Zach Cox, he who covers the Patriots and the Celtics. What a perfect guest to have on from the Boston Herald tonight. Hello, Zach. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great, Joe. Thanks for having me.
I wanted to get your take on Drake Maye's performance. Take the team and their loss out of it, because the owner already told us the wins and losses don't matter anymore. So, your overall thoughts on Drake Maye and his performance yesterday?
I mean, it was definitely encouraging. I don't think you can come out of that game really with any other read on the way that Maye performed. Definitely not perfect. The early interception was a pretty poor throw and a pretty poor decision on his part, but really taking out that one play, and obviously the strip sack is something that he would want to have back as well. But for a guy making his first start behind a brand new center against one of the better defenses in the NFL, I think the Patriots, their players and their fans came out of that game saying, okay, at least they have a guy that seems like he knows how to play quarterback. At least the future looks a little bright, even though I don't think it's going to significantly increase their win total over the course of the rest of the season here.
Oh, God, no. I think it's still at 4.5, but I don't know. I mean, I just want them to play better at home. I mean, they're 1-10. Their last 11 games at home. They went 1-7 last year, 0-3 this year. It's just, to me, man, like the mystique is gone at playing at Gillette Stadium.
Yeah, they've played. I mean, they've lost and they've just been playing these ugly, gross games too. You look at the last two alone, just so many penalties. I think they had something like 21, 20, 22 penalties over the course of these last two games. The turnovers, yesterday's game is probably not a game they win regardless. But you look at just the way they played, the dumb mistakes they made, giving up 50-yard touchdown runs, turning the ball over in your own end 3 times in the second half. There are just so many problems with this team right now, and yeah, it all does seem to manifest, especially in these home games. I'm going to be really interested to see what the crowds look like for some of these games toward the end of the year, because even in some of the previous seasons, I remember the Bengals game on Christmas Eve a couple years ago, there were tickets going for $7-8 right before that game. I think you could see half empty stadiums by the end of the season. Basically, the only thing that's getting people to turn out is seeing how Drake Maye performs out there.
All right, Zach, Gerard Mayo said 2 things after the game, and I want to get your opinion on them. One of them was, we let Drake Maye down. What do you think he meant by that?
I'm not sure exactly. I think if what he was trying to say is we don't have the right infrastructure around Drake Maye for him to be as successful as some of the other rookie quarterbacks have been so far, then I think, yes, that's true. They don't. I mean, their offense is kind of a mess right now, especially at the offensive tackle spots. A lot of their receivers aren't playing especially well. And you could also read into it that being what I mentioned earlier with the penalties, with the turnovers, some of which were Maye's fault, some of which weren't, just really not putting themselves in the position to win this game. This wasn't a situation where they played well defensively, they took care of the ball, they were clean on both sides of the ball and gave their rookie quarterback at least a chance to compete in this game. I mean, Drake Maye could have thrown for 450 yards, and they're probably still not winning this game with the way that they performed in some of those areas. So that's kind of what I read out of that. But a lot of the stuff that Gerard Mayo has been saying lately, honestly, has been kind of contradictory to things he's said before. So it's really hard to actually pick up on what he's trying to say with some of these things.
Yeah, I was trying to make a reference for those who could relate. I used to work in sales, so we used to have those scripts, whenever you're doing sales calls. I think Mayo doesn't know what script to read anymore. You know what I mean? They've had so many now that he's saying something different to what he said before. We're starting to at least call him out on it. The other thing he said I wanted your opinion on is, you should feel like crap. And the defense was horrible. Just over the last, 4 weeks, they've given up, over 100 yards to every team. It's gotten worse and worse. There's no progression. It's coaching, if you ask me. But when you should feel like crap, like this was supposed to be a good defense, what happened?
Yeah, I mean, I think that was one of the more telling quotes that he's had all season, because obviously Gerard Mayo has made it a point to be much more of a player's coach than Bill Belichick was, with just the entire way that he has run his program so far. And most of that involves not directly calling out your players like that, but it's warranted. I mean, as you said, this defense was supposed to be the strength of this team. A lot of it is related to injuries. You have to always go back to that. If this team in this game didn't have their best linebacker, didn't have their best defensive lineman, and didn't have one of their best defensive backs, it's hard to win when you get that far down on the depth chart. But some of the mistakes that these guys on the field are making are just they're mistakes that even backups in an NFL game shouldn't be making, from the missed tackles to the poor run fits, the penalties, and for Gerard Mayo to go out and really call out his players like that, I think that's warranted, and I think you kind of have to do that when you see the product that's been on the field lately. You can't really spin a kind of everything is great, good vibes when the team is performing the way it is.
No, the vibes. There we go. Back to the vibes. It's a good vibe. At least, everyone's, at least he's treating you well, right? And Gerard, he talks to you, he's nice to you?
I mean, I think he's even running into some issues with that. I mean, I know the transparency is the big word with the Patriots or with the Gerard Mayo, especially in his relationship with the media. But he's been kind of continually tripping over himself with a lot of that, because I mean, obviously as media members, the more information we get out of coaches and players, the better. But I think he is realizing that some of the Bill Belichick tactics that annoyed a lot of us in the media were done for a reason, and he kind of tried to go away from some of those and ended up talking out of both sides of his mouth. So, I mean, from the Patriots' sake, you have to hope that this is kind of a really harsh learning experience, and he's going to improve going forward, and especially next season. But yeah, it's been the growing pains have been pretty significant so far, to say the least.
All right, we're talking with Zach Cox. He's of the Boston Herald. Also has been covering the Celtics, man. What have you noticed? Anything different about Joe Mazzulla this year? If I give you my opinion, I feel like he's looking for ways to relate to his players outside of basketball. Skaz, who called you, he's our producer. He wrote an article about the whale offense. Maybe you've heard of it. I've been preaching it here at night. I mean, 50-point wins, shooting 50% from three. They shot 63s in Abu Dhabi. I mean, they're going to shoot more threes this year, Zach. Like, what have you seen from Joe Mazzulla and his philosophy?
I think Joe Mazzulla is trying the best he can to pretend that the Celtics didn't win the championship last year, and is really trying to maintain I mean, you've heard the quotes from him about this isn't a title defense. If you view it that way, then you're wrong and you're vulnerable, and other teams are going to be able to take advantage of you. I think he's trying to do everything in his power to really turn the page from last season and not spend too much time dwelling on what the Celtics were able to do. It's a little difficult when they have basically the exact same team as last season. But a lot of the players talked in the opening couple of days of training camp that he ran a really tough training camp. He's played his starters a good amount so far in the preseason. They didn't play last night against the Raptors, but they saw pretty good minutes in the first couple of games. And he seems very similar to what he was last season. And obviously Joe Mazzulla is an interesting cat, and he has some interesting methods. But when you win a championship, it kind of validates all that you do in that way. So I think he hasn't really changed that much. I just think that the outside perception of him is a little bit different, because it's not like, who is this young coach who's doing all this crazy stuff? It's, hey, Joe Mazzulla is kind of a weird guy, but he clearly gets results.
Oh, he's weird. I love him now, though. But I used to think he was weird. Now I'm starting to get it, When he talks about the whale offense and the whales coming together. Now I get it now. I'm fully in on Animal Kingdom Mazzulla.
I mean, it goes back to the results. This is something that if a coach of a 500 team is trying to do some of these things, you're like, what the hell is this guy talking about? But when it's a team that just won 80 games and kind of blitzed its way to an NBA championship, something's working, and you kind of just have to say, all right, Joe, go for it. Whatever you're doing, it's clearly having the desired effect.
All right, Zach. What about Jordan Walsh? You had a nice little sit-down with him?
No, I didn't have a sit down with Jordan Walsh, but he has been playing well so far this preseason. He's really been probably the biggest surprise of this preseason so far for the Celtics. Obviously didn't play much at all as a rookie. Spent most of his rookie year up in Maine in the G League. Had a really rough go at the summer league as well, coming into his second season. And I didn't really view him coming into camp as somebody who would threaten for any sort of role. But he's been one of their better bench performers so far. He's gotten a lot of opportunities. I would say he's probably the leader in the clubhouse for that like O'Shea Brissett 11th, 12th man role, which, I mean, that guy's not going to play that much on a given night anyway, given how stacked the Celtics are above him. But definitely the opinions around him have definitely shifted over these last couple of weeks. And also important to remember, he's still the youngest player on the Celtics, even though he's going into his second year. So definitely a guy to watch, especially early in the season, to see if he can get some more opportunities.
All right, final one, Zach. I think we know about Lonnie Walker. He had a really, if you read his Instagram, he heartfelt, wants to make it work, doing everything he can, sacrifice. So there's some things, if he, goes to the G League, he can be plucked by any team. And if he makes it on the Celtics roster, it's basically $10 million, 10%, whatever. Does he have a shot here? And I just wanted to throw out, is Jaden Springer a part of this group, or would he be the odd man out?
It's difficult because both of those players, it comes down to financials a lot, I think, because Jaden Springer has a $4 million guaranteed contract this season. I don't think he's played especially well this preseason. Joe Mazzulla looked pretty unhappy with him at a couple of points in the game last night. I don't really see him having a much of a role at all to begin the season unless some things change. But he's also a guy you already paid $4 million, and kind of cutting him or trading him or doing whatever to sign a guy in Lonnie Walker who, as you mentioned, even though he's going to be he's on a minimum contract right now, he's on a tryout contract, signing him because of all the luxury tax implications, it would cost basically an extra $10 million. And this is a Celtics team that doesn't really have a lot of money to play with. It's a tough situation for Walker. I mean, he's definitely overqualified for the kind of contract he's on right now. This was a guy who was playing real competitive minutes in the Western Conference Finals like a year and a half ago, had a pretty decent season for Brooklyn last year, and then the best he could do this offseason was a tryout deal with the Celtics. You mentioned his kind of mindset. We spoke with him during training camp. He was saying a lot of those same things to us, just saying like, hey, this is not the opportunity I wanted, but I'm going to make the most of it. I'm going to do everything I can. He's really put in a ton of work these last couple of weeks. He's always one of the last guys to leave the court after Celtics practices. So probably is not going to result in a roster spot for him. If I had to guess, he would probably begin the season in Maine, but who knows? He's played well the last couple of games. Maybe if he really balls out on Tuesday night up in Toronto, maybe he can change some minds. But yeah, tough situation for some of those kind of like mid-tier.
We lose him? All right, Zach. Well, we love you, man. Don't know what happened.
No, that was the rare just dead air right there.
That was the ghost.
Nothing. Blame the sports up ghost, I guess, on that one.
Was that a ghost call? Similar to ghost poop?
Boo poo, Joe.
Boo poo. All right, well, if he calls back, tell him we love him. And then we'll pump all his work up at the Boston Herald.
Always welcome.
Maybe I'll text him. He called back. Sorry, man. You did. I'm going to go. You did great, man. It was probably us. I'll just say it was probably us. It was probably us. I wanted to bring up that he was a 6-man tag team with Andrew Callahan and Doug Kite, but I couldn't get that far. All right. Well, thank you so much, Zach Cox of Boston Herald. He of like the threesome of the dudes on dudes, Doug Kite, Andrew Callahan, Zach Cox. Well, we'll go to break. I'm Joe Murray. Skaz is here. Maybe we'll, what did our boy Fanta say yesterday? Let's hear from him. I'm interested in hearing this. Thank you. We'll go to break. Bye-bye.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, well, the Jets, they trail 7-3 right now. Josh Allen, if you had a All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. We just got a Garrett Wilson anytime touchdown. Jets lead 10-9, 7 at the moment, pending the extra point. We're going to go around the NFL in a minute here. Let's take a call. Let's talk to Cam. He's in Georgetown. Hi, Cam. Hi, Cam.
Could we be having a phone issue, Joe?
Let's find out. Gabe in West Roxbury.
Joe, what's up, Joe?
Ah, there you are. Old Faithful.
You know it.
I missed the extra point.
I called in.
Oh, did he? I thought he missed the extra point.
Did he?
No.
Oh, I had to put the kicker in for my fantasy to try to win, but I'm facing Wilson, so I just lost.
No.
But I called in the person who picked up. I gave like a stupid take. I just wanted to give my take on
Hey, intern Joe,
on May. And
was his take stupid?
Yeah, I mean, he said it was good. I think he was sarcastically like, oh, yeah. I don't know.
All right, well, then tell us.
It was just, I just wanted to say, like, May looked good. And I think, obviously offensive line, but some wide receivers that, what can do? Get the yak, YAC, yards after catch. We need more of that. I wish we saw more HB screens with Gibson. And yeah, I mean, I think in a couple years, if we can draft well and get some protection and get a nice wide receiver and, we get defenses, well, we're going to have to get a couple guys there. But I'm talking about offense right now. And I felt happy about yesterday and I liked the game. And yeah, it was just like, we lost by 20. Felder obviously, put a downer on it right away. Like he is a bitter Green Bay fan, I got to say. But so I just want to say, hey, Joe, and
hey,
all right, have a good one.
You too, bro. Take care. What did Fanta say? You got Fanta lined up for me? So everybody knows John Fanta. He covers college basketball, but he is a gigantic Cleveland Browns fan.
He's a delight. If you're a fan of sports, especially basketball, you should be following John Fanta.
Well, a couple of weeks ago, was this 4 weeks ago, he had the Deshaun Watson, he's done, he's cooked. What was it? I'm ticked. I'm ticked. Well, this was from his basement yesterday.
Yes, well, we'll just give you a snippet of Angry Fanta.
Let's hear it.
From the basement. Because that's where I feel like we're all at. After that 3 hours in which Cleveland and Philadelphia fans certainly won't get back in their lives, football is what they call it, what we just watched, although it is the furthest thing from the product that the top teams in the league are putting out. Apathy is the word of the day. Apathy. Feeling apathetic. Not ticked off or frustrated or angry. The Browns gave more of an effort today than they have in the past this season. They did. Kevin Stefanski's homecoming game thought that the players would play with some level of pride. Myles Garrett did. The guy on my shirt, Joe Thomas, he did that throughout his Cleveland Browns career. It's why he deserves a spot in Canton. But at the end of the day, this football team has zero offense. It's been 6 weeks. The guy that is tied for the team lead in touchdowns is Rodney McLeod, a defensive player.
Not good when it's week 6 and your leading scorer is a cornerback safety. I would say things are not going well in Cleveland, Joe.
They're not. When are they going to make the move?
It almost feels like they're just kind of, I mean...
It's like, hey, we made a terrible decision and we're going to just go with it now.
I guess, but like, I'm of the belief, I think Kevin Stefanski's like a pretty solid coach. He's gotten the Browns to the playoffs. I know Coach of the Year is what it is, but he's won 2 Coach of the Year awards as the head coach of the Cleveland Browns. That's not an easy thing to do.
It's not.
So I think Stefanski definitely wants to play Jameis, but I just think there is some ownership, upper management, whatever it is. We paid this guy. We're going to play him. And now the Browns suffer for it, and we suffer for it because we have to watch this every weekend.
They covered, though.
They did cover.
They covered. I watched a lot of football yesterday. Why don't we hear the Ravens game? King Henry? What do you do? What do we got going on with the Ravens from yesterday's guys?
Henry alone in the backfield. He'll get the carry up the middle. Big hole. Touchdown for the King. Derrick Henry strikes again. And the Ravens extend their lead.
How was he a free agent? Like, how do the Ravens just get him?
He looks like better, too.
I know.
Like he's running by guys.
I think he's got a better line, to be honest with you.
He's 30 years old, and he's just still a monster.
I think he's the best running back of our time. I know there'll be some others. Like, I don't know. I loved Marshall Faulk. Like, and clearly he's a Hall of Famer, but who are running back Hall of Famers of this time?
I mean, I know his career didn't end well, but there was a time where Le'Veon Bell was as good as any running back in the league. Nick Chubb, when he was healthy, right up there.
Nick Chubb's good.
Marshawn Lynch is probably up there, but he was. I don't even know if at his peak he was the best running back in the league. No, Derrick Henry he's the guy. He's a monster. I still think of the picture of him standing next to Mark Ingram, and Mark Ingram looked like a high schooler.
Wild. What about the Lions, who had a good day but a bad day? Did you see that?
3rd and 8 for the Lions from the 37 of Dallas. They lead this one 27-6. First drive, third quarter. There's the shotgun snap to Goff. Back, looking, throwing right side. Got a man out there.
Go, baby.
Touchdown, Detroit Lions. Oh, baby. Goff with a rainbow. Williams hauls it in, and the Lions add to their lead.
Is that a Whoa Nelly?
Very close to a Whoa Nelly there, Joe.
Whoa Nelly!
Detroit Lions. Oh, baby. Goff with a rainbow.
Holy mackerel there!
How do you feel about the Lions dealing with the Hutchinson injury?
I thought he could come back. Didn't Brian Cox break his leg and come? This is obviously a premier talent.
I think Schefter said he's out for the season earlier, but there are some conflicting reports that he could be back. He's their best player. You got to get pressure on the quarterback in the playoffs. I think the Lions are the most talented team in the NFC, but with their secondary and missing Hutchinson, it's going to be tough late in January for them.
I don't know what they're going to do. They have James Houston on their team. I know he's old and he's been hurt. You know, could they make a move for somebody? Like they're a team. Like if Judon was available, that'd be great for them. Right?
They call the Jets on Hassan Reddick.
Ooh! It's just money.
It's just money.
Ooh!
I saw he signed Rosenhaus today, so or Rosenhaus signed him. I don't know, whatever verbiage you want to use.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. I don't know who. Like he's a pure pass rush. I don't know what they do there. That's pretty interesting. And then finally, Atlanta yesterday. What'd they do? Let's hear an Atlanta call.
Snap to Cousins. He wants to throw. Quick shot. London. Touchdown, Atlanta. He pivoted against J.C. Horn and boxed him out and caught the rock for the score.
Yay. Atlanta wins, right?
Atlanta wins. Joe, I have a college football thing from this weekend that I thought would be a much, much bigger story, but I have seen it virtually nowhere. Did you see what Kirby Smart did this weekend?
No.
He basically tackled a guy, almost punched him in the head, like at a Mississippi State player. Yes.
Could you throw that in my
I will throw it in Slack.
Real quick, one thing I wanted to mention that Dan Lanning this week on the final play of the game took the 5-yard penalty.
Do you think he did it on purpose? 12 men on the field, right, is what you're talking about?
Yeah. I don't know, but it worked.
It worked, but he seems like such a hardo.
Took 4 seconds off the clock.
I had Oregon in the game,
Me
so
too.
I was happy.
I was sweating that boy out.
But
they were just moving down the field, and then that big holding penalty happened, and I went, whew. Will Howard, what happened there, bro?
I lost the clock a little bit there.
I blame the coach. He didn't tell him. Listen, do I think that he should know better? Yes. You're still a coach. He's still a kid. You got to tell him. Get the musings coming up next here on the Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You want a random take? Murray's got all sorts on stuff in the world unrelated to sports. So sit back, relax, and get your mind in the game and listen to the words of a grown man complaining.
Murray's Musings here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. I got two things for you and a couple of birthdays. Wanted to tell you about this promo I cut on this kid this weekend. So I'm a big card collector for those sports and memorabilia collector. I love wrestling and all sorts of cards. There's a lot of guys older than me who love the hobby. They come up, we make good deals, we shake hands. It's awesome. But there's this, 10-year-olds to like 15-year-olds that I don't want to deal with anymore. They're nitpickers. They haggle like crazy. And I just don't want to do business with them. I'm sorry. And I won't even apologize for this one. I don't want to do business with them. So, Skaz, I had a Victor Wembanyama 2023 or for whatever it was, select rookie card. Graded 9. I was selling it for $50. This kid goes, how about 35? I said, okay. He then proceeds to open up his Fendi. It's a deal. You don't go back on a handshake agreement. So you know what now? Me and you and I, no more. Don't come to this table. Don't shake my hand for an agreement and then back out with your Fendi wallet and your $100 bills, you 12-year-old. Here anymore, Skaz.
Joey Murray's scared straight. Coming soon.
Oh, I could have been worse, but then I thought about, do I want to yell at a 12-year-old kid? You know what I mean? But Skaz, when's that kid going to learn when he shakes hands with somebody, it's an agreement?
Hopefully he learned, Joe, this past weekend.
I hope he thinks of me and my face. When, the next time he shakes someone's hands, he's just going to think of me. Being like, yeah, I'll break your fingers. Anyways, I wanted to share that story. Also, you sent this one to me, Skaz. I've been thinking about it for a couple of days now. There was a space out in Tokyo.
I had a feeling you were going to enjoy this one.
The Tokyo Space Out tournament drew nearly 100 competitors to find out who's the best at doing nothing. I'm pretty good at doing nothing, I got to tell you. I could melt in a chair like nobody else. I'm very good at doing nothing. No mobility? In. Sitting around doing nothing? In. Well, this past Sunday, roughly 100 competitors assembled at the Arc Karajan Plaza in Tokyo's Roppongi Hills. Organizers of the Tokyo competition gave the order to begin, and the participants all immediately launched into doing nothing at all. Now, don't mistake their lack of movement for a lack of interest. Each and every one of those motionless competitors were vying to win because the winner of the Tokyo competition or the Tokyo Space Out competition is the person who does the least once the competition starts. It's the second iteration, which will be an annual event. You space out for 90 minutes. Entrants can compete as individuals or as a team. The tournament organizers make it very clear that spacing out is distinct from sleeping. As a matter of fact, seemingly the only ironclad rule of the Space Out tournament is that sleeping is grounds for disqualification, with a soccer-like system of yellow and red cards and violators expelled from the competition as seen at the point of the video. Well, you can't see the video. Whatever. Long story short, there was a space out. Do you think you could space out without sleeping?
That was going to be my question to you, Joe Murray.
No shot.
You're a sleeper.
I could nap right here, right now. I could nap during the time. But oh yeah, if I could just do this, guys.
So you're saying you don't know if you would be a great competitor at the Space Out games?
No, I'd fall asleep.
You're getting a red card.
I'd be disqualified. You know what, though? I could just sit there.
You could just sit there.
Like, can I look at my phone the entire time and not sleep? And do nothing?
Are you spacing out if you're looking at your phone?
Oh, yeah. I go down rabbit holes all the time. Space out every night. Don't you?
The Joe Murray Show. Spaced out.
Space out with Joe. When are they going to bring this to the United States?
I would be in on Boston hosting a space out event. Maybe
Where would it be?
hosted by Joe Murray.
Boston Common? Definitely.
Gotta be.
Bring the tents. Bring the lights. I will tell you this. Back in my day, I once... Oh, boy. One time I went to a Pink Floyd laser show. And we were told beforehand that if you get dizzy, just start looking at the ground. I don't know. I could do nothing for definitely 90 minutes. No doubt about it. Could I space out for 90 minutes? Yeah, I think I could. So now I'm interested in the Space Out Olympics. Anyways, birthdays today. Usher, 46 years old. Skylar Shea is 38 years old today. Comedian Jay Farrow, 37 years old. Rowan Blanchard's 23 years old today. Dwight D. Eisenhower, the 34th president, today was his birthday. Ralph Lauren. I wear a lot of pole.
Stephen A. Smith's birthday today.
Get out of here. We should have been having a... Always. Oh, how would we not lead with this?
Always ass.
Just type Stephen A. in that system. Just see what pops up. We don't need any other birthdays. We got one. Jared Goff's 30. We don't need anything else. We just need Stephen A. all day on his birthday. Always. Stephen A. doing on his birthday.
Some of the tags on some of these clips make me a little nervous, but we're gonna give this one a try.
Okay,
Joe.
let's hear it.
Did I not judge mommy when mommy got arrested when she had on that damn wig? Did I not judge her?
No idea what that's in relation to.
I know what this is in. I do. He had a friend named what was her name? No, he has a friend. Pootie? What was her name?
Look at Nancy.
Nancy. Yeah, keep going. There's Pootie, right? And there's like other ones.
Nancy.
He had a bunch of friends and girls. He was.
Look at Natasha.
There we go, Natasha. There's another one. That was her name, Pootie. It was the golden
Cookie Monster. Definitely that, okay?
Wait a second.
Questions. Apparently someone asked him what it'd be. Is Sesame Street starting 5?
Sesame Street starting 5. Who you taking? Ooh, okay. Ooh. Cookie Monster. Definitely that, okay?
Natasha.
Look at Natasha.
What a birthday.
Stephen A. Smith is 57 years old
Is
today.
the bottom feeder in there? I feel like it's in there. Because
I'm a bottom feeder.
Tonight's guess.
Oh, damn. Look at Marina.
Natasha. Where's Pootie, though? Always. I mean, I feel like going forward, man, October 14th, Stephen A. Day.
Might be a holiday on the night show.
Stephen A. Day next year. No, I'm putting it in my phone right now. October 14th, 2025. Stephen
Oh, damn. Look at Marina.
It's like a little bit of Natasha in my life. A little bit of Marina in my life. Little bit of Molly in the sun. Little bit of Mary all night long. All right, any more Stephen A? Or is that it tonight?
I think that's it for tonight for Stephen A. For one, Stephen A. Smith. Happy birthday.
And Stephen A., happy birthday, bro. What are you doing tonight?
I think I'd put Stephen A. at the top of today's birthday list. I know we had Dwight Eisenhower. I know we had Ralph Lauren, but
Usher.
I think Stephen A. is better at his craft than all three of those men.
If we just put $10 on everybody, would we win in the end?
Find out next Monday.
Next Monday.
I don't know what she got because I don't look at my sister like that.
From the town fair, the Sports Hub, a Beasley Media Group station. Sports Hub headlines.
Leverett released from the Patriots. Oh, and baseball. Mets. And the Bills just took a 13-10 lead. Headlines are brought to you by Cape Cod Lumber and CCL Homescapes, 100% employee-owned. Your go-to independent lumber yard. Partner with CCL and CCL Homescapes for all your building needs right in Abington. I'm Joe Mark.
Here we go.
Boom. I win. Kaboom.
Yeah. Hit somebody.
We've got a passion for Boston sports.
Get angry.
98.5 The Sports Hub.
Just waiting to see if I heard anybody on the me doing a promo on the kid. People think the Space Out is the anti-marijuana ad. People that are deflated on the couch. Been there. Some guy's mad at me that I ranted about Nick Leverett being cut. He's like, this is the weirdest thing to be mad about. Well, that's why I posted it.
It's also your job, Joe, to have a take.
Joe, did you go to the Friday Night Laser show at the Museum of Science? I have been there.
I have been there as well.
I haven't been there in like 20 years, but back in the day, psychedelics, mushrooms.
Be looking like the ad on the couch there.
You know, I'd be like sweating in the planetarium, playing on the stairs. You know, the music. Yes, that happened. Yes. And then Riz is sending us more Stephen A. clips. We got too many. There's actually so many in there, you can't play them.
Yeah, there's so many Stephen A. clips in the system. Rightfully so, but there is a lot.
Happy birthday, Stephen A. What we didn't get to, Skaz, was what people around the league and how they feel about the Drake Maye performance. So figured we should get into that coming up on the other side. And I think Bill Belichick commented on Drake Maye. Maybe. But I know some other people did. So we'll get to that coming up on the other side. I'm Joe Murray here on the Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up.
Back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub, I'm Joe Murray. People around the league talking about Drake Maye. That was, Chris Sims? I heard this earlier today. Pretty positive, right? Wasn't he? He was critical of him during camp. Who's the other one? Who said that Drake Maye will get a head coach fired? Who was that? Was that, he used to be on the Merrill Hodge. That guy. He's going to get a coach fired. He might.
I don't think it's going to be Drake May's fault that the coach's going to get fired.
I don't think so.
Can't remember Merrill Hodge ever being a real analyst.
I just remember that Ron Jaworski show he used to be on. You know who Charlie Weiss is, right?
Very familiar.
Oh, I've heard some good stories about. So listen, I think Charlie Weiss could get me, Skaz, and intern Joe to run an offense. For real. Like Tom Izzo could get the three of us to play basketball. I agree with that. So I respect Charlie Weiss's football opinion. I don't when he makes a lot of money, though. So, like, when he's, like, at Notre Dame or Kansas State, I don't want to hear what he has to say because he's just getting paid. But I like the way he thinks of young quarterbacks because he taught Tom Brady. So, he was on with Damon Amendolara. You ever heard of him? DA?
The mothership has connected.
Yeah, he used to do a show here. I know, I remember him. I worked with him.
Never had the pleasure of meeting DA, but from afar, I remember the mothership.
I'm busting chops. I remember DA, yes. He had the ladies of DA at night.
Believe that might be where the all the foot talk on the station started.
Yes. The mothership has connected. Welcome aboard. You know who does the rap on that one?
Is that one Mark Veldman?
Same one who does my rap, too? My rap. All right, let's hear from Charlie Weiss on Drake Maye.
Thoughts on how you thought Drake Maye performed in his debut?
Well, I mean, you have to say that he did enough in this game to be encouraged. I mean, you would not be discouraged by that effort. Let's face it, the Patriots right now, and this, I love the Patriots, but let's face it, right now, their offensive line isn't very good, and their skilled players leave a lot to be desired. So anyone coming in is already fighting, fighting an uphill battle. But I thought he did enough things in the game. I mean, let's face it, they were relatively conservative with him, which, that's the route to take. But their team, the surrounding team, isn't good enough to carry him right now. And the fact that he threw 3 touchdown passes in his first effort out there, gives you a reason to be optimistic.
What did you think when you heard the decision they were starting him earlier in the week?
Well, let's face it. Right now, with that team, they're better off with Jacoby in there than Drake Maye. With the team that they currently have. But let's face it. When you start off 1-4, 1-4, 1-5, and already the writing's on the wall about whether or not you're going to be a playoff caliber team or not. You drafted him the 3rd pick in the draft for a reason. So you're going to have to play him. There's not really a perfect time. You're going to wait for a team that has a crummy defense. Is that what you're going to wait for? And figure, okay, that gives him the best chance of being successful. Although he's inexperienced, his athleticism brings more opportunities. Like today in the game, multiple times in the game, he made plays with his feet.
I like it.
Sounds familiar almost, Joe.
Brady couldn't move, though. I mean, Brady could not move early on. I mean, if he was chased from behind, he was sacked.
Well, that's why Brady was so elite, though, because he could move in the pocket.
He had,
he was as good as climbing.
It was like a boxer.
Has anybody ever?
Like the rope when the boxer's going under like this? That was Brady. He knew how to, feel the pressure, duck, step up. Where Drake Maye, I'm not saying Drake's bailing out on the play, but he's going to run to a spot. It's kind of like to switch sports. a basketball player without the ball that knows the spot to be in to get the ball. Drake kind of knows the spot he needs to get to settle to throw. Only seen it once, but I liked what I saw. The other guy who liked what he saw, Dan Shaughnessy. Dan Shaughnessy, the Boston Globe. Thanks to Drake Maye, there's finally a reason to watch these Patriots. We have seen Patriots' future, and his name is Drake Maye. 50 years ago, the real paper's John Landau famously wrote something. I'm not even going to go there. He brought something up from 50 years ago, guys. A Bruce Springsteen song. Let's give it a shot now.
You're telling me that Dan Shaughnessy put a Bruce Springsteen song reference in his article?
He goes, 50 years ago, the real paper's John Landau famously wrote something like this about Bruce Springsteen and the future of rock and roll.
I am absolutely shocked that a baseball reporter found a way to work Bruce into their article. That stuns me.
We are natural-born cynics here in New England. We have standards. We are not yahoos. So why does a 41-21 home field advantage beatdown at the hands of the Houston Texans feel so good? Seriously, folks, the last place Patriots are 1-5. They're 7-23 since November of 2022. They've lost 8 consecutive games at Gillette. Bob Kraft is needier than ever. And there is little to indicate that the rookie head coach Gerard Mayo or retread offensive coordinator Alex Van Pelt know what they're doing. We knew the Pats were going to be bad this year, and they have lived down to the expectations. But finally, there's a sign of life after 5 games of boring offensive football, and we mean offensive. They're literally removed rookie, I don't even know what he's saying, Maye, from the glass. He broke glass. Maye was far from great. He turned the ball over 3 times all by himself and steered an offense and punted 6 times and gave the ball away 4 times. But the signs were there. He completed 20 of 33 for 243 yards and led the Patriots to a season-high 21 points. He threw 3 touchdown passes. That's 3 touchdown passes, everybody. That's more touchdown passes than beleaguered veteran Jacoby Brissett threw in first 5 games. He went back to 1971 when they drafted Jim Plunkett. Then he went to 1993 where Bill Parcells gave the ball to Drew Bledsoe. And then, just 3 years ago, Bill Belichick turned to Mac Jones. Whoops. Sorry, but this feels different. And some of it's rooted in the notion we have some low expectations for a Patriots team. New England's offense was a nothing burger until the end of the first half. The Pats' first 5 drives resulted in 4 punts and an interception. The vaunted end zone militia was bored as playoff ticket window workers at Fenway. Oh! He had to bring that one in there too, Skaz. Then came Maye Magic. Less than a minute before intermission, Maye dropped back, had plenty of time, and chucked a perfect 40-yard spiral into the arms of Kayshon Boutte. It was New England's first touchdown, big play in 6 games. The Pats only had 2 completions or more of 20 yards in the first 5 games. Everything felt great at halftime. The Pats were on their way. They had momentum. Unfortunately, Maye was blindsided by Danielle Hunter on the second play. Stephon Diggs was taunting Christian Gonzalez in the end zone. It was never a game after that, but we saw the future. Maye moved the team with his arm and his legs. He was sacked 4 times, but ran 5 times for a team-high 38. The Pats take their flopping show to London next weekend for a joust with the equally bad Jaguars. The game will air back in New England at 9:30 a.m. Breakfast with Drake Maye. Finally, a reason to watch this team. All aboard the Maye Watch. All aboard. Love the Maye Watch graphic. So there it is. All aboard.
You don't like the Drake. Hate the Drake.
I love the Drake.
How could you not like the Drake? Who's the Drake?
Who's the Drake?
The Drake is good. I love the Drake. Love the Drake.
Got to love the Drake. Boy, I'm really starting to dislike the Drake.
Hate the Drake. I told you the Drake was bad. I hate the Drake.
Sports Hub headlines.
All right, football just before the half. Bills have a 13-10 lead over the Jets. Earlier today, the Patriots released center, guard, lineman Nick Leverett. Baseball playoffs continued today. Mets with a 7-3 win over the Dodgers. Right now, the Yankees have a 4-1 lead over Cleveland. Over at the Garden today, the Bruins, they lost 4-3. It wasn't good. They lost. No one was happy about it. Headlines, they are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is not with me tomorrow.
Don't go anywhere. There's more Joe Murray. More Joe Murray. On the way on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
Turnovers, 3 or 4 turnovers in the game. Can't win if you lose that battle. Defensively, I would say just the fundamentals of just tackling and our run fits have to improve. They have to improve. And I told all those guys, I said, you should feel like crap today. You should feel like crap. You take away those 2 long runs. We had 2 runs over 50 yards. And so, that's just not winning football. Offensively, I thought they did some things that were encouraging. Obviously, still not enough. The turnovers, one was on a tip ball. But that's the way the league is. I thought Drake made some good decisions out there. I thought he had some good reads. I thought he tried to get the ball out of his hands. I thought he did a good job extending plays with his legs and picking up first downs. So just got to be better. Fire away.
Hit me with your best shot. Fire away. Just want to make sure that Gerard Mayo is watching the right, reading the right script, Like, what script is he getting, Is it the process one or the plan? The plan. The plan. Zoe was great in the plan. But what we've seen from the Patriots of late is the coaching's horrible. Like, what we can say about the Patriots, they don't have good coaches. We've seen little improvement. The line stinks. The penalties keep mounting. The defense is not good. There's no progression from the coaching staff or defensively. And I'll give you 2. One on the offensive side. You just scored a touchdown. You go into the break. You get the ball. First play, you run. Second play, you pass, strip sack. Houston gets the ball, scores a touchdown. Then your third drive on the first play, you throw it, you fumble. Led to a field goal. Now you're down 10 points. And then on the 5th drive on the first play, there was an interception, led to a touchdown. That's 17 points. So you started out down 14-0 and then gave up 17 points in the first 5 drives of the game. You have no shot. I complained about running on first down because every time they did, they got stopped. But then when they threw it on first down, fumble, interception. And, Skaz, I want to blame Alex Van Pelt for that, but I'm going to anyways because if he's going to run it and it gets stopped and then he throws it and it's a turnover, that's a him problem. He doesn't have it figured out. So, Alex Van Punt, Alex Van Puke, Alex Van Penalty, Alex Van Putz. Am I missing one? I think that's it. On the defensive side of the ball, when you give up 133 yards to the Jets in week 3, and then 148 to the 49ers in week 4, and then 193 to the Dolphins in week 5, how about in week 6 you don't give up any running yards? They gave up 192 and 2 touchdowns. Where is the progression? They're not getting better. It's getting worse. This is where coaching comes in. This is where coaching comes in. Hail Mary, come with me. Did he just catch the Hail Mary? I think that was a touchdown, dude. I feel like I want to get the Aaron Rodgers meme with him with the Tupac bandana. Who caught it? Was that Scantling? Was that Scantling? Please tell me it was. He came down with it.
I think it was Lazard.
I don't know. You don't have to find it, guys. Never mind. It was a great song by Tupac. Aaron Rodgers just threw a ball 60 yards in the air that looked complete to me. And then after 3 seconds on the ground, everybody was hitting it out of his hands and he bobbled it. They're kicking the extra point. Has it been reviewed? Wow, it counted. Aaron Rodgers with a Hail Mary with no time remaining. Buffalo with a 20-17 lead going into the half. Another Hail Mary for Aaron Rodgers. Listen, you can say a lot about him, but the Hail Mary, remember the Hail Mary, the one in Seattle where the refs didn't know what they were doing with the replacement refs? That was a Hail Mary too. They just gave 7 points to the Jets. Hail Mary. Can't stop right now. Well, there we go. Anything else you want to do tonight's guys? Oh, we have a guy on hold. I'm sorry to leave this guy. Hey, Cam, you were in Georgetown, and I missed you earlier.
What's going on?
What's going on, man?
I just wanted to say I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller. I feel like you got to give more credit to Hunter Henry here in this offense. I feel like he's been really reliable. He had a great week last week against Houston, and I feel like he's been there when we need him.
He's a captain.
Yeah.
He also had a false start after a nice play.
He's been there, though.
Yep.
Yep. Also, I agree with you on that cards segment earlier.
Yeah, you card collector?
Yeah.
Do you know me? Do I know you?
Yeah, remember? John Anik.
What?
No? You don't remember? Okay, never mind. I was the MMA guy? No?
Oh, you're the MMA guy that we talked about. Yes.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just say that?
I don't know.
How am I supposed to know who you are?
I don't know.
Yes, you're an MMA guy. You do an MMA podcast or you write about MMA.
Yeah.
And I told you the guy.
Also, it's Charles Oliveira's birthday. You didn't shout Charles Oliveira.
I apologize to Charles Oliveira. But yes, John Anik, who's the play-by-play announcer for MMA and UFC, he's the fellow who got me my job in radio. Cool. I met him at a card show.
Thank you for connecting those puzzle pieces, Joe, because I certainly was never going to get there. You say Hunter Henry had a great week last week?
Yeah, tell me about Hunter Henry's week.
Hunter Henry, last week against the Dolphins, Joe.
Yeah.
He had 2 catches for 32 yards.
Okay, how about this week?
3 catches for 41 yards.
So that would be 5 for 70.
Against the 49ers, 2 catches, 12 yards.
So 7 for 82.
Against the Jets, 2 catches, 9 yards.
So 8. I'm not good at math anymore, but we're still under 100 yards, right?
Well, no. Hunter Henry had a good game 1 week this year, and that would be against the Seahawks. He had 8 catches for 109 yards.
I think he's the only captain still hanging in there.
Yes, the captain's curse has struck the Patriots. Let's hope it does not come for Hunter Henry, because then they are really in trouble. I like Hunter Henry, but let's not act like he's having like a prime Gronk or Travis Kelce. He's fine. The bar is very low if we're getting this excited about Hunter Henry.
You know what I would do? I would trade Austin Hooper. And I don't mean that to be like disrespect because he's soft and all that.
Does he have any value, though?
Well, I don't know, but if tight end goes down, what if the Ravens need another tight end or something?
He's a perfect Raven. He can block.
Yeah, no, he's going to be a second or third tight end. So, I mean, but I'm just thinking like with Dietrich Wise, could he go to the Lions? Would the Lions give up like a third or a fourth round pick for Dietrich Wise?
He doesn't really do what Hutchinson did, though, does he?
I know. I'm just throwing out names.
I like Hassan Reddick, Joe.
Dude, I would trade everybody on the Patriots.
Everybody but Drake May. Send him away.
Literally, I would trade everybody but Drake May and probably Christian Gonzalez. I want to keep the corner. He's good.
Keon White, Christian Barmore, keep them.
I would keep Keon White, yeah.
Keon White had 3 tackles yesterday, Joe. 2 pass deflections, though.
He did play. Okay.
He did play. 3 tackles.
I did notice him yesterday. Who would I trade? Ooh, that'd be a good, nice little 98.5thesportshub.com. Who would I trade from the Patriots? Josh Uche, out. Bro, see ya. Somebody wants him, take him. Who else would I trade from the Patriots? Tyquan Thornton, if somebody wants him.
See you later.
Take him.
Joe, one thing we haven't really chimed in on tonight is Jalen Polk. His game yesterday. How do you feel about Jalen Polk?
The first one, he pushed off and then dropped the ball. Like, literally pushed.
That's a double no-no right there.
Double. The second one was for a first down. He completely dropped it. He also got yelled at and was embarrassed a week ago because of his behavior after the non-touchdown. And then to show back up with 2 drops and 3 targets, come away with nothing. It hurts because they took him over a tackle. That's why it hurts. I think Polk will be fine if he can just, even Mayo said it himself, get over the hump. What is the hump for him, though? Catching the ball? He did score a touchdown week 1. I'll give him that. I would trade everybody. Anybody want any of those? Who's worth anything? Who's worth anything on the Patriots? Maybe Jonathan Jones, but they're not going to give up on him. Can they even trade Peppers? What about Joey Sly? Somebody want him? I'd trade them all. All right, we're going to go. Final break of the night here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5. You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
All right, back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. I'm looking at a second halfer on this game. Bills up 20-17. Is there another 3 touchdowns in this game? 21.5? Don't know, but you know what, though? Still feeling the Jets. Do you think Robert Saleh allows them to throw that Hail Mary? Serious question.
He'd take a knee, probably.
That's what I'm thinking. Momentum now. The crowd's going wild. They're like, we got our savior. Literally, they got their Tupac bandanas on right now for Rodgers. Excuse me. Remember the Rodgers to Rodgers one? The Hail Mary? So it's, all right, we're going to have to get into this tomorrow. But Bill Belichick's on the Manning cast, and multiple things have happened. One is the cocktail napkin with the Jets. The other is basically Bill Belichick crapping all over the Jets tonight. We haven't heard it yet. I'm just reading it. But it looks like there's absolutely 0% that Bill Belichick coaches the Jets. So those coaching odds that we made, maybe we should take him off as the favorite. So that's one thing that happened. I don't know. I feel like the Jets hang around in this one. I still got Scantling to win, to whatever. Greasy bets. Love them. Buffalo already with a big play to start the game on the Jets' 39-yard line. So I might just let it ride. Tomorrow night, Scaz, we get to watch the Celtics. The final preseason game, and there was an update on the 76ers.
Yes, apparently Paul George left tonight's game with a hyperextended left knee contusion, they're saying. So things already not looking great in Philadelphia.
Oh, Paul. That's a great start to their year, huh? One doesn't want to play back-to-backs, and the other hyperextended his knee. All's going well in Philadelphia, let me tell you guys. We'll have more of that tomorrow. We'll have Bill Belichick audio. Be hanging out with you guys for an hour before the Celtics, and then we'll be on post-game till 11 o'clock. For Joe Medeiros, our intern, great job. Scaz, James Scaramazino. I'm Joe Murray. We will talk to you guys tomorrow night at 6 o'clock right here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.